Milk Crate Marauder is the shit.
Making it to our Philadelphia Eagles game on today is essential. Thank you all so very much, and we now want to take some questions. Any? Well, listen, we've got to do this. Let me hear you all say E-L-G-S-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
Today, I am signing an executive order making it legal to call your friends fags and retards if they are doing something faggy or retarded. Fags and retards, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to start calling our friends this again. And we will. We're going to call them fags and retards again.
Because I don't want anybody going on me. We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care.
Sorry. Thank you for your vote. Now go fuck yourself. That's the message from the Republican Party for the next 4, 8, 16, 100, 1,000 years. Thank you for your vote. Now go fuck off until the next election.
When I went to his bedroom to say goodnight, and he was crying because of the abuse that he was enduring in this school system.
Then why did you stay in Mexico?
You need to leave.
I'm not going back to Haiti. Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
Bye-bye.
What's going on? I voted for Donald Trump. All Trump had to do was stop sending money to other countries and deport the illegals. Well, goddamn, we have a fucking dictator now. We have a fucking dictator. He might as well fucking bring back fucking slavery.
What?
You know? Okay. That's Donald fucking Trump. He's a fucking asshole. I regret my fucking vote. I do. Okay?
Bye-bye. Okay?
Alright, Daddy Trump, you want to take us the fuck out of here? Come do this shit then. Look what the fuck do your house. Look what the fuck do your streets. Come get it, bitch.
You're fired. Get out of here. You're fired.
Take a boat, hop a train, catch a plane, make a run for the border. So get going.
Taco Bell has the road to make a run for the border.
You motherfucker son of a bitch, what the fuck? Man, fuck you, Mama Webble. Mighty Cone Mama Pinga.
Joyce Evans for the Channel 6 10 o'clock news. Fuck it, we getting out of this joint.
I'm out of here. Bye. He has a rap.
Howard?
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt, but Donald Trump is on line 21. He wants to say hello.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Hello, Donald Trump.
So how's my friend doing?
The
Good.
Donald.
The Donald, by the way.
Hi, Robin.
Hi
you know,
there.
you called about this Howard K. Stern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say, you got to get rid of this name.
Did you hear what I did? I
I think
announced.
you have to change your name, Howard.
Well, did you hear what I did? I called AP this morning. I said, like Donald Trump, his wife used to call him the Donald.
Right.
I am now going to be known as the Howard.
You know, there's something with that guy that it's good. More than meets the eye. There's something bad about him.
Oh, Howard K. Stern, yeah.
Absolutely.
I had a run-in with the guy on the air. I was just playing it this morning.
Never felt this guy is weird.
You know what's weird about it, though? It's like, the name Trump, you build it up. In fact, I was over on, Riverside Boulevard. There's 3 Trump buildings right in a row.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, I go, wow, Donald really does have a lot of buildings. And each lobby is nicer than the next.
Right,
Well, let me tell you what he's doing. He's international at this point.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going all over the place, but Howard K. Stern is international.
Yeah, but imagine if, like, all of a sudden some guy named Donald Trump, like,
is in the middle of something like this.
And is a flaming asshole.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, just kind of.
I wouldn't be happy. I wonder. I assume that was his original name. I assume that.
But let me ask you something. In a way, isn't it good, too, that, like, imagine, like, let's say the guy's name was Don Imus.
Right.
And every minute on the news, it was Imus. I would go, man, I'd be kind of jealous.
Imus's stock goes up. You got to figure, right?
Yeah. I'm like thinking, like, anybody who hasn't come to satellite yet is hearing Howard Stern.
Well, I guess you could look at it both ways, Howard. But there's something about that guy, seriously, that I think he's just bad news. I mean, all of a sudden, the kid, the young 20-year-old boy, he goes, and a lot of people said he had an overdose, and who gave it, and Howard Stern was with him and all this.
Howard K.
They
Stern.
said Anna was angry at Howard K. Stern because of the son, and was he involved? And then all of a sudden she goes, there's something bad about this guy.
Well, somehow he's the only one left standing.
All right, let's
and it's
ask
almost
this.
like his whole life was devoted to her. And, I mean, it's like, give me a break. You know, look, I knew Anna, and you knew Anna, and it's somebody that you sort of had you felt very sorry for, but it's hard to devote your entire life to it. Do we agree?
One of the all-time, of course, one of the all-time beautiful faces, right, in the world.
All time.
And, you know, not bright.
Not bright, but, you know, maybe smarter than we think. I don't know, but not bright.
That's what Donald said over the weekend. I was like, what?
Well, it may be. I mean, I wouldn't know what her SATs were, but, you know.
Sometimes.
But Donald Trump makes.
I know a lot of beautiful models, and they're saying, oh, she's so dumb, she's so dumb. In the meantime, she's got a good shot at $500 million, and they don't.
Yeah, but Donald, you make a good point.
I always have to say, you know, not bright. They talk about Paris Hilton. Is she bright? Is she not bright? Well, you know, I don't know. I know her from the time she's like 10 years old or younger, and she's making a hell of a living.
Well, that's true, but, you know, you make a good point. You're sitting here and you're analyzing Anna Nicole Smith, and then you look at this Howard K. Stern guy. He's a lawyer, and his only client is Anna Nicole Smith.
It gets
Howard,
even creepier. Even creepier.
I think he's some kind of a degenerate, in my opinion, and his whole life evolved around her.
Let me tell you something, Donald.
And by the way, I give him 0 that it's his baby.
Me too. I was going to ask you that.
Nobody believes that but him.
I give him 0. I think it's the other kid's baby.
Burkhead.
And then the Zsa Zsa Gabor guy, I mean, the Zsa Zsa Gabor
husband
loser
came
out.
Do you know him?
Imagine you're married to somebody and you announce it, you think it might be your baby. That's wonderful.
Do you know Zsa Zsa Gabor's husband?
Loser.
Right. Now
let me tell you something about Howard K. Stern. I just read that he opened a talent agency just for Anna Nicole. I think that was even before he met her.
I don't know, but hey, let me ask you something.
This guy is a sicko, in my opinion, and I'll tell you what, and I really mean 0 chance. Now, I think the baby is probably the blonde guy, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any chance it could...
The baby is from the blonde guy. Howard K. Stern, whatever the hell his name. Is that his real name, by the way?
That's what I'm questioning, too. Is Howard K. Stern...
You were extremely hot. You've always been hot. All of a sudden he changes it. Who knows? It probably is.
Yeah.
It probably is.
What are the odds of somebody both naming their kid...
a lot of people change their name to Stern.
Right.
Right?
Right. Maybe it was Stern and he changed it to Howard. I don't know.
I don't know. But, boy, I'll tell you what. That guy is bad news. And right now, I think of you every time I see him on television. I think of you. And
I'm laying in bed all weekend.
You can't be thrilled.
No, I'm laying in bed all week and I go, I built up the name Howard Stern. I told this story earlier. Dee Snider, Twisted Sister, said to me once, you've actually kind of made the name Howard cool. It's a shitty name. You got stuck with a shitty name. But, you know, it's like how Bruce Springsteen made Bruce kind of cool, because that's another shitty name. And he said, you kind of pulled it off. And then I'm sitting there watching it all go down the drain because of Howard K. Stern.
And Dee Snider felt... Howard, for years you've been criticizing him, right? For years you have not been a fan of his.
Right.
And, you know a loser when you see one, right?
Right.
How would you feel if he became the hot Howard Stern?
Well, now they're calling...
That's what's happening.
Secondary.
They're calling him Howard Stern now.
I know, it's very tough.
What am I going to do?
I don't know what you're going to do, Howard. I think it's very, very
It's a nightmare.
I don't know. I'm walking around feeling... And listen to this.
And depending on what they find out about this guy, it could get worse.
In Australia, I just got to figure this story will eventually die. But in Australia, in the newspapers, they're talking about how shock jock Howard Stern is claiming to be the father of the baby. And I got letters from Denmark, as far away as Denmark, offering me condolences on losing my girlfriend.
That's tough. How about all of the fathers that are stepping up? How about all of these guys, and every one of them, who really, let's say a real player, a really cool cat, do you think anybody stands up and has a news conference and you think you might be the father?
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
One thing about her, she had plenty of action. Do you think she actually had any action with Zsa Zsa Gabor's husband? Do you think he ever got
I do.
her?
I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to tell you what the story was that I heard.
Go ahead.
Now, you've met Zsa Zsa Gabor's husband?
I met him once.
Right, because they say he's a prince, but the family bought the name. Like
he is not. He is not top of the line.
But they say that Anna Nicole Smith, being out of it as she was, she wanted to be a princess. So she was saying to him for 10 years, please marry me and make me a princess. She bought into the fact that he was a prince. And he said he would not leave Zsa Zsa. And he offered to adopt Anna Nicole Smith. But Zsa Zsa was, sort of against it because she was dying.
That's actually what happened to his father. His father was adopted by whoever had a title.
Right.
Think of Zsa Zsa, who was a tough woman, tough and crazy.
Yep.
And she's now sitting in a wheelchair. Her mind is okay, but everything else is gonzo.
Right.
And she's watching this guy on television announcing that, this is his baby. And she can't do anything about it.
Yeah, today I've got
a wheelchair. She can't move.
Today I've got tape of him.
She's happy right now, Howard?
No, I think it's a crazy world. I mean,
today I've got tape of him saying that Zsa Zsa is a little upset.
I always
say she's a little upset, and probably from his standpoint, it's very good because there's not a thing she can do about it.
I always loved Zsa Zsa Gabor. I mean, I thought Zsa Zsa Gabor was a kind of a cool lady. Like, she would come on talk shows and say whatever was on her mind, and she's got to be
cool.
Her mind's got to be like just fuming.
But she was the one who married this dude and was walking around telling people to call her princess.
Yeah.
The toughest thing, then? She was legit. She was a great beauty also.
Yes.
And there's nothing good about the clock. Please remember that, Howard.
I know.
I know you think we're all getting better looking as we get older.
No.
There's nothing good about the clock. Take a look at Zsa Zsa. Interestingly about Anna Nicole, I knew her model agency very well. She was with Elite when it was good. Now it's not good. Now the Trump agency is the hot agency, believe it or not. But she was with Elite models. And a woman who ran it, a French woman named Monique Paillard, she ran it. And I said to her about 10 years ago, I said, Monique, who was the most beautiful? She saw everybody. She had Cindy Crawford. She had the most beautiful models. They did an amazing job 15 years. Remember with John Casablancas, right?
Yeah.
I said, and I was shocked by the answer. And then I thought about it. I said, you're absolutely right. I said, who, of all the girls you had, every supermodel, everything else, who was the most beautiful of all? She said, Donald, there was no question about it. I said, who? Anna Nicole Smith. I said, you have to be kidding. And then I said, wait a minute. She's true.
You said it's true.
When she came to New York, I saw Anna Nicole Smith the first day or week that she was in New York. She was 6 feet tall. She had the best body. She had the best face. She had the best hair I've ever seen.
Right.
Hair is my thing. I'm really into hair, okay?
Right.
And she had the most beautiful, she had the best hair, but she had the best face and the best body. You said the best face. She had the best body.
She did.
And Monique said that now, when she opened her mouth, it was different. Let's face it.
They ruined it.
When she opened her mouth, because I said to her, what did you do? She said, I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Wasn't anything more sad than watching her gain weight? I mean, it's almost like wasting that beauty and letting herself just get fat.
Well, let me ask you this. How did she lose the weight, do you think?
I think there was listen,
you think she had the operation?
I don't think she had, it had to be, come to think of it, because...
I always said she had the operation. I don't believe it was the product. And by the way, the product that she was endorsing was not in her refrigerator in the Bahamas. It was another product.
Well, they're claiming...
I'm sure they're thrilled.
Well, they're claiming that somebody set up that picture that went in and changed the refrigerator around to embarrass Trim Spa. I don't know,
Probably not,
Who knows? But I think you're right.
I think she had the operation.
I think you're right. In fact, they just found out that she had 2 breast surgeries since the birth of her child.
You're kidding!
I think I read that in the paper today.
That's crazy.
She had some definite problems. But I think she had the operation. That was the only way. I have friends.
You hung out with her?
What?
Did you hang out with her?
I knew her pretty well.
Did you ever bang her when she was hot?
No. I never did.
Did you ever try to bang her?
I never tried. I never got past the mouth.
Did you think about it?
I was crazy.
I was hoping you were the father of the baby.
I might have been the only one.
Did you ever fuck your girlfriend?
But interestingly, I have friends that have been fat all their lives, business guys. They're slobs. Okay?
Right.
And they've been really, and not because they're fat, but they're tough, rough guys. They'll be making a deal and chugging down they're rich as hell, and they'll be chugging down hamburgers while they're making deals. You know the kind of guy I'm talking about, right? Their whole life they're fat, like 350 pounds, 300 pounds, and they're tough guys, smart guys. All of a sudden, this guy walks into my office the other day. I have 3 or 4 of them. And he weighs like 170. I said, what do you do? He goes, he doesn't want to. They don't want to admit to the operation.
Why don't they?
We gave up.
Yeah. But why?
We gave up, and we just said to her, you know, they had their stomach removed.
But they never look good after they do it.
You know what? They look worse, Howard.
They do.
The one thing.
And they're miserable.
Look at this guy on American Idol, the black guy.
Yeah,
he's fat again.
He's fat again.
Look, it's true.
How do you eat? How do you eat?
You're born to look a certain way. Some of these guys, they lose 100 pounds, 150 pounds, and they look sick.
Do you think Star Jones ever looked healthy?
No, she looks. I don't think she looks as good.
She looks like a deflated prune.
You know, so many people, when they lose this weight, this large amount of weight, they never look good again.
That's right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Thank goodness you don't have that problem, Howard.
No, I don't eat.
So listen, I feel sorry for you with Howard K. Stern.
You're thinking of me.
What do you suggest he do?
Yeah, what would you do if you...
I think he is responsible, personally, for the Anna Nicole tragedy. I think he's responsible.
Well, how do you... Let's be serious for a second. When you say responsible, here's a girl who's out of control. He's a hanger-oner. I would agree with you.
Well, no, he's a total hanger-oner, but I think he maybe was losing the power of the hanging on. And maybe...
You're not suggesting you think he did something.
Do you think it's possible that he was feeding her the drugs? Do you think that's possible?
I mean, it's possible, but I don't think that's the case.
All of the drugs they took out of the room...
I'll tell you what, I think he's bad news. Do you know, if people called... I know a lot of friends of mine... If people called Anna Nicole, they couldn't get through. In other words, he was like the answering service. He was
but wait a second. Let's look at it this way.
He did a good job, because look at the way she ended up. You know, it's one thing if she ended up in, you know, wonderful times, right? But she ended up the worst.
Well, I don't agree with you.
If this guy was like the secretary, the lawyer, the whole thing, I think he was a real sicko.
All of the drugs they took out of her room, they say, had his name on them.
Oh, yeah.
That hotel room?
I believe he's responsible for the very bad things that have happened to her.
Hey, by the way, notice I didn't bother you during the whole Rosie O'Donnell thing. You know
I
why?
appreciate that.
I figured if you wanted to call in about it, you would.
Is Rosie going to be next? Is she a mess or what? You look at that slob. Is she a mess?
You know, for years, I got to tell you something. As long as you're on the phone, I'll tell you. I had a feud with her for years, and, you know, I said some horrible things about her. And, in fact, we even had a phony phone call to her on her show from the mayor of Philadelphia, and like calling her a fat slob, all kinds of wild things. And when I saw that, when she came out of the closet, I felt better about her. I felt that she, let me tell you my story. I thought that she was being honest about her sexuality. It was no more of this, you know, Tom Cruise is the most handsome man. And I felt that when I saw a special on HBO where her and her girlfriend were...
Her wife.
Her wife, at the time girlfriend, were really instrumental. They were experiencing a lot of homophobia. They took a cruise with a bunch of gay people, and the gay people were being attacked in the Bahamas by, I think it was the Bahamas, but I don't know, one of these countries, and one of these islands. And they stood up, and they really took a stand against homophobia, and they were taking a lot of shit. And my view of her softened. I felt, I ran into her at a restaurant recently in Nobu, and we sort of made our peace, and I told her I was very proud of that special.
Yeah, but she did that for her own. Let me tell you, she's a bad person. I know her, and she's a bad person. You know, it's interesting. When I was doing one of the shows, the Today Show, one of the cameramen came up to me. He said, Mr. Trump, please don't ever stop on Rosie. I said, why? I worked for her for a year. It was like living in hell. There was nobody that was meaner to people.
Really?
She was always mean to the smaller people. She would treat us like dogs. She would curse at us. She would shout at us. She was sick. Please don't ever give up on her. She's a horrible person. This is the camera guy.
I've heard those. Guy. Yeah, I've heard those stories as well.
Oh, no, she's a horror show. She's bad news.
So what's the deal? Is it gonna be weird if you run into her somewhere?
No,
you don't give a shit.
Howard, honestly, there's billions of people in the world. I like some of them. Okay, just have 2 or 3 friends. You're my friend.
Yeah.
But the fact is, hey Howard, who cares? I go on the Today Show, Meredith Vieira. And she says, is it true that you called her crude? I said, no, I called her a degenerate. And she's like, stops. Then she says, but did you call her fat? You're not allowed to use the fat word.
Right.
Okay. Did you call her fat? I said, let me ask you, is she fat? I'd rather not answer that question. I said, I want to know, is she fat? I don't want to answer that question. It's the craziest thing. But
Barbara Walters.
A bad person. And I hit her hard. Rosie's a bully. And as you learned from growing up in your wonderful school that you loved so much when you grew up. You loved that school so much. But when you have bullies, and I guess you didn't get the chance to hit them back, basically.
No, I ran.
They just kept hitting you. But when you have bullies, you got to hit them right between the eyes. And,
I think she's sorry. I think she's sorry she started in with you.
Oh, no, she doesn't want to. Let me tell you. She is a bad person. She hits Kelly Ripa. she hit Danny DeVito. How about Danny DeVito? Did you see that deal?
I didn't. I saw that. The Kelly Ripa one,
funny.
I told Kelly Ripa to call in and argue that point because I said that's not fair. Kelly Ripa was not being homophobic in the case of Clay Aiken. Clay Aiken was out of line putting his hand over Kelly.
Put his hand in her mouth.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Look, I don't want somebody's hand. I don't want somebody's hand in my mouth.
I don't want to shake anyone's hand.
People have germs.
Excuse me, you and me both.
Right. So
how about when she did the Tom Selleck? Do you remember the Tom Selleck?
Yes.
Oh, that was about the guns.
Yeah.
This poor guy goes in to talk about some movie or some television show, and she starts hitting him, and he didn't know what happened.
Well, you didn't let that happen.
You know what? He's still wondering. He's still walking around the street saying, what happened?
Right. So you said, when this came out, you said, listen, I'm going to fight back.
Yeah, well, I said I was going to fight back. You know, I understand her. I don't like her. She's not a smart person. You know, she's not a smart. She's just a bully. She's a loud.
Is there anything she can do to get back in your good graces?
No.
Nothing.
No.
If she came in and blew you.
Oh. I'd pay a lot of money for that not to happen. That is one of the most unattractive people.
Hey,
and,
speaking of...
She took great offense at the fact that I said she better be careful or I or one of my friends will go and pick up her wife.
And Barbara Walters is...
Barbara Walters lied. I mean, you know, Barbara Walters picked me as one of the most fascinating people last year.
I wouldn't do that show.
Well,
she asked me to be on that show.
Last year, Howard.
I wouldn't be on that show.
I wonder if Barbara, by the way, I wonder if Barbara regrets having chosen me as one of the most...
No, I don't think she regrets it, but I'm wondering what it's going to be like. I bet you two will make up.
I tend to doubt it, really.
You and Barbara?
You know, somebody said to me, oh, but you and Barbara were friends. First of all, you know, I had a 5-year spat with Barbara years ago when I was on one of her shows, and she asked me a question that she swore to me that she wouldn't ask, and it was a question having to do with marriage and having to do with the fact that I was getting divorced at that time, okay?
Right.
So the lawyer said, please, don't do any of that. So I said, listen, Barbara, you have to do it, and she didn't want to do that, and finally she agreed, and then the first question she asked was that, and so I had, for a period of 5 years, I didn't talk to her. And then the statute of limitations ran out, and I said, all right, I guess now it's okay, because she was very nice to me, but I don't see... Speaking to Barbara, like if I walk into Le Cirque and Barbara's sitting there, I wouldn't bother me one way or the other, but
you'll ignore her.
Talk to her.
You'll ignore her.
Yeah, just like she doesn't exist. She doesn't. Howard, she lied. Now, at first she lied, but she lied modestly, and I said I totally agree. It's like if I was attacking Robin. You know, you sort of have to defend the people on your show, okay?
Yeah, but what about the people who came off and said you came off badly during the Rosie feud? They thought that you were too vicious, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I think you have to be vicious when you're dealing with a vicious person.
Right.
You know, I'm not that way. You have to be vicious when I went to the Wharton School of Finance. I was a great student. I got very good marks and all that stuff. And I sometimes explain that to people because sometimes when you come off extremely vicious, it's not necessarily... You know,
Did you get mail?
Necessarily always show great intellect.
Did you get a lot of email and stuff from people saying you were too vicious, or were some people against you?
I would say 85% in favor of the way. And I had a lot of good friends of mine saying, Donald, why do you attack her?
Right.
And I say because I have to.
Like, why not be above it?
Genetically, I have to. It's not a question of, you know, in other words, she made statements about me that were totally false. They then corrected those statements. But you know what? There was nothing, and she was more angry at anything that I gave Miss USA a second chance. How do you like that one, by the way? Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, I thought it was good. Beth ran into her the other night.
That's how it started, because she was angry that I gave Miss USA a second chance, and I did the right thing in giving her a second chance.
Hey, I got to ask you a question. I'm watching Jimmy Kimmel when Andy Dick put his hands on your daughter, and I said that was totally inappropriate. She was a good sport about it.
She's a great kid. Well, he was seriously, you know, at first I thought it was a stunt or a gimmick, but then when I watched the tape, I saw that he really had some problems.
Jimmy did the right thing dragging him off the set.
Yeah. I did Jimmy's show, by the way. I did it about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Right.
I thought he was great.
Yeah, Jimmy's a good guy.
He did something that I didn't believe, because I didn't really want to do that show, because this was right in the heat of that stupid Rosie thing, and I didn't really want to do the show, because he's on ABC, and they're on ABC and everything else, right?
Right.
So I go on the show, and I agreed to do it, and we weren't going to talk about it. And he actually totally took my side with Barbara against Barbara and Rosie. And he actually did a cartoon of Barbara with her nose growing, you know, meaning the nose was growing in front of you. But Jimmy, I'll tell you, he was great. He was funny.
He did the right thing.
I really like doing his
He did the right...
I think his show is doing very well.
It is. He did the right thing.
Getting rid of Andy.
Getting rid of Andy. Andy was being inappropriate with her.
Right. when my daughter did the show like 2 weeks later, and by the way, did my daughter look beautiful on the show?
Your daughter, I got to tell you, man, I swear, I know this would kill you.
It would kill me.
If I wasn't with Beth, I swear I would make a play for her.
Even the thought of it kills me.
I would be your son-in-law.
Really?
The thought of it kills me.
I'm going to tell you the truth.
I have great respect for you.
I
love Beth, and I think you can do whatever the hell you want to Beth.
Then I'd be Howard Trump.
But
no, can I tell you something honestly?
Listen, Howard, there's a report that you're getting married, huh?
Well, we've talked about it.
I always told you would eventually.
Nah, so did Robin. Hey, can I tell you something though? I'm watching that with your daughter, and I go, she's so goddamn attractive.
Yeah.
She speaks well. She's got a ton of dough. I mean, sort of.
She's a great kid.
She's a great kid. What a great catch. I still think she got implants. Her chest looks bigger to me. But so what?
Well, she hasn't told me about it.
Well, that's nothing she's going to discuss with you.
No, I don't think so. But
and can I tell you something? The face, gorgeous. The body, gorgeous. Bright. And I'm sitting there going, you know what? When I met her, there she is. Look at her in a miniskirt. When I met her, I thought she was kind of saying to me, I like you.
Oh, that would make me thrilled.
And I know she would be with me.
The nice part, I'm one of the guys that don't need your money, Howard.
Yeah, but what a rebellion it would be on her part to go out with me.
I wonder if I needed your money, would I go to it? I don't think so.
Why would you hate? Why would you hate? Why would you hate?
Do it. No matter, hey, Robin, no matter what.
You wouldn't do that.
If I had Zippo, I'd say, Howard,
keep your money.
Why would you hate me being your son-in-law?
I don't know. I can't even imagine.
Too old?
You know why? Because I love you, but I've listened to you too many years.
Is it the Jew thing?
No.
Oh, stop it.
You should. Well, a lot of the country club guys, they don't.
Stop
I was waiting. Hey, Howard, I was waiting for that question.
It could be, though.
I was waiting for that question.
But maybe he doesn't want to wake up in the morning
and... You have to hit below the belt.
Right.
I can't believe she married the Jew.
Want to wake up in the morning and hear about how he had sex with her last night,
right?
No, I don't think so. Well, yeah, even not hearing about it, even the thought of it.
By the way, I would convert.
I like him right where he is with Beth.
I would convert.
You would?
I would.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's an outstanding girl. She was a very, very successful model, top. And then
she's gorgeous.
At 18 years old, she cut it off. She went to Wharton.
Yeah.
The Wharton School of Finance, which is the best.
She's it's the best
super
hot.
In the world.
Who's she seeing now?
Well, she went to Wharton. Well, she got all A's. All A's.
Who's she doing?
Well, the only thing that can hurt her, the only thing that will stand in her way is the wrong guy. You know that very well.
That's right.
The only thing that will...
Howard K. Stern.
By the way,
who'd you rather have, Howard K. Stern or Howard A. Stern?
I would take you in a heartbeat, okay? Of those two, reluctantly, I would go with you.
You'd have to go with me.
But she got all A's. She's now in business, and, in my business with me. She's doing a great job with Don, and they're doing great, and they're brothers.
All right, let me give you theoreticals.
Go ahead.
Hypotheticals. Howard K. Stern or Jamie Foxx? Who do you go with?
Well, I like Jamie Foxx a lot.
But, it's Jamie Foxx.
Hey, Howard, I would certainly go with Jamie Foxx.
You would?
Oh, yeah. And you knew I would say that.
I mean, he can say anything he wants, just as long as he doesn't bring Jamie Foxx home and really try to do it.
There's zero discrimination in my blood.
Right.
Howard.
I know.
Donald actually told me that they kicked O.J. Simpson out of his country club because he didn't want his kind there. And I said, really, a murderer? And Donald said, he murdered somebody?
You said that
O.J. Simpson actually went to my wedding, and I think he sat right next to you, didn't he?
He did. I have a picture. The back of my book is a picture from there. That's right.
And that was about 3 weeks before he killed his wife.
That's right.
No, well, he killed her.
Yes.
I saw O.J. at a restaurant. I was at the Ivy, and I was with a group of like 7 or 8 bankers.
How long ago?
We're sitting. This is before the fact, before it happened,
right?
Before the murder,
right?
And he was talking very nice. He was a nice guy. I mean, he was a nice guy, but somehow I can't get over what he did. It's like hard,
right?
But she came up to him, Nicole, and she was at a table. And she didn't treat him very nicely. She was very, very, like, what are you doing? Get back to the table. And everybody sort of said, wow, she's pretty tough,
Right.
But you still don't do what he did, and which he obviously did.
I mean, what did he do at that time, Donald? Did he just smile?
No, he was embarrassed.
He probably was like, don't worry, I'm going to be killing you. I will kill her very soon.
You're going to get it.
He was very embarrassed, and it was embarrassing for him.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you.
She was sitting with her mother or something, and she was, she was quite rude, unfortunately, and he was a little bit embarrassed. And it's something I never forgot. And, you know, then shortly after that, the ultimate act took place. But it was, what a mess that is.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, it's weird. I mean, because we met him.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
Nice guy, charming, except for the murder thing.
He was a great guy, other than a couple of murders.
Yeah, that's it.
Did he ever do your show?
You have if you're from like where I'm from, the murders sort of do it.
Yeah.
He called me once. He wanted to know if he could play golf.
After the murder?
Yeah. I said, I'm going to take a pass.
No kid. He got on the phone with you personally?
No. They just wanted to set up a golf match.
Oh, my God.
Somebody called for him. They wanted to know if they could, because I play golf. He plays golf, you know.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine if you did that?
And I took a pass.
Yeah, that was a smart move. That was a smart move. That you would have just come off looking bad.
You know, the greatest is, though, where they say that O.J. wasn't physically fit enough to have killed Ron Goldman. And, you know, because Ron Goldman lifted weights and stuff. And I'll tell you a story. I was on the golf course playing with O.J., you know, again prior, of course, because after I just shut him off, it was over.
Right.
But, you know, because that was one of the most obvious murders of all time.
Of course.
But I was on the golf course playing, and I'm playing with a guy, a friend of mine, who is like this really good athlete, and he's, you know, physically fit, he's lifting weights, one of these guys, you know.
It's hot.
And O.J.'s in shorts. And O.J. had these really skinny legs. You know, you used to wonder, how could he drag 5 linebackers from Pennsylvania on his back for 10 yards? You know, because he's got these really thin legs, right?
Right.
But, you know, he was an amazing athlete, an amazing runner, and a very powerful guy.
Yeah, he was crazy.
So by the way, a guy like that, an NFL guy like that, he could be in bad shape and old, and he'd still kill a normal guy.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
You know, there's not even a correct.
I mean, the idea that he had arthritis was such horseshit.
Right, well, the whole thing. So this was a little bit before the murder. So what happens is my friend said, there's no way, because he's looking at O.J., right? And O.J.'s skinny legs. And he said, there's no way that you can beat me in a race. And by the way, this guy's much younger than O.J. So O.J. says, just give me a shot, just give me a shot. So I actually go out to a flag that's about 50 yards in advance, 50 yards forward. And I say, all right, on your mark, get set, go. And they start running. O.J. beat him so badly. It was like O.J. was sort of resting at the finish line as this guy was still chugging along. And this guy's a good athlete.
Yeah, but trust me, O.J.'s in fine shape.
Well, Donald must have been...
stories about O.J. couldn't have killed him because he wasn't strong enough. He wasn't physically fit.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah, Donald must be sitting there during the trial.
75 years old, O.J. would have been able to kill him.
Of course.
Right, saying, O.J. can't walk? O.J.'s claiming he can't walk.
Yeah, they should have called you as a witness.
Well, no, O.J. was, O.J. was one of the greatest running backs of all time. And this guy was a guy that would go around you, but if necessary, he'd go through you.
Yeah.
You know, in other words, one of the backs that had both qualities, right?
Yeah, no, he was one of the greats.
And he would carry guys on his back, and everybody used to wonder, because he had very thin legs. You know, he had the very thin legs. Everybody would wonder, how do those thin legs carry 4 or 5 linebackers? You know, it's pretty tough, right?
Right.
So O.J. at 75 would have no trouble.
That's right.
You know, but it's too bad. It's too bad.
I'm glad you called in.
Well, it's nice to talk to you. I feel very sorry for you having to live with this Howard K. Stern thing. I think about you every time. And as you say, maybe it's a good thing for your career, Howard.
Yeah,
but we don't have to worry about your career. Your career is blessed.
Yeah, exactly.
Howard thinks it's going to go away. I don't think it's going away.
No, I think maybe
it's great to watch.
All of a sudden you'll hear stories that he was the one that, maybe you'll hear stories that he was the one that killed her.
I got to tell you, who knows? I doubt that.
The mother thinks that he killed her.
I don't believe. Meanwhile, the mother had nothing to do with her. The thing is that when I turned on Fox News, if they didn't have on Anna Nicole this weekend, I didn't want to watch any of the story. I'd go to CNN. If they didn't have it, I'd go to MSNBC. And 9 times out of 10, MSNBC had something, so I stayed with it. Anything
I don't find it. You know what, though, Howard? I don't find it that fascinating. You know, last week, before she died, Entertainment Tonight was doing, your friend Pat, right?
Right.
Entertainment Tonight was doing a lot of on Anna. And I didn't find it to be...
Me neither.
I didn't want to watch it. And
Me neither.
I hated the way she was talking. She was obviously drugged out. I don't think that was even alcohol. I think that was drugs, but she was horrible. And it looked like she had the lips pumped. And
right. It was sad.
For all of you many women listening, why do women have their lips pumped?
They're insane.
It is the most disgusting thing to look at these big, fat, pumped-up tires.
By dying, she made herself interesting again, didn't she?
Well, I don't know.
It was the best career move ever.
But even now, other than the basics, I don't find it I don't find it interesting like other stories for some reason, but maybe I must be in a minority because that's all they have right
I never did, but now I find it interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the stories before the death, but now I'm riveted.
I couldn't believe how much publicity she was getting before. I mean, over what? You know, you're trying to find out what, you know, why is she getting all this publicity?
And you couldn't figure it out.
But you know, one thing I've learned about your business, Howard, it's all about the ratings. If my feud with that slob, or if Miss USA, or, you know, because that Miss USA became a huge story.
Right.
The one thing we know.
I'm more interested in her now.
People aren't watching. Well, by the way, and she is beautiful.
She's a hot piece of ass. Get her in here.
The last time I put one of the people on your show, it was Miss Russia.
I know, that was the end.
But I had to fire her.
Yeah, get that one on here. I want to talk to her because she's, you know what, I feel bad for your Miss USA because this girl was having so much fun.
Oh, but she is one beautiful. I'll tell you what, she's so beautiful.
But she's got to be miserable now. She's got to be miserable now. She can't party.
Well, we said she could have certainly been Miss Howard Stern. We would never have stopped her fun.
No, if it was me, I would never even, I'd go out and do whatever you have to do, honey. I could care less.
What, that's right. If it was Howard K. Stern, he'd bring her out.
But you were right. I mean, you've got a franchise there.
He wouldn't do anything to her, by the way, Robin, but he'd bring her out.
Right, that's true.
You know, that Miss USA.
I'll bet, I wouldn't be surprised if Howard K. Stern never got there with her.
Oh, right. I don't think it at all.
I agree. I don't think he ever banged her.
I would be, unless she was totally drugged out, I would be surprised if he ever even got there, let alone the kid. I mean, the kid is nonsense, right? But I would be surprised if he ever got there.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, listen, I'm gonna move on. But listen, thank you for calling. Good to talk to you.
It's great to talk to you both. I hope you're both happy.
What about The Apprentice?
The Apprentice is doing great. It was on last night. It's on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock, and it's been doing really well.
Sunday nights, 9 o'clock, The Apprentice, everybody.
Right.
All right. Hey, thanks, Donald. Come in here anytime. You know that.
With Howard K.
Yeah, hey, I love you, too.
Robin, take care.
Thank you, Donald. Right. The great Donald Trump.
Who this?
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilets, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm saying
there's more jobs to be.
In LA, they always...
But they Latinos are not only the only people
I didn't mean it like that. Come on.
No,
I would never mean it like that. Okay, I'm not part of this argument.
I think what you're saying is that Trump himself
needs to look at
realizes a lot of these people that he's insulting.
Kyra Daniel.
Dear President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland has been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, fuck off.
Donald Trump is on the phone. He came up with a good idea. What is it, J.D.? You going to get some shitty gift for Gary?
No, have you liked my gifts in the past? He does get something very thoughtful.
Thoughtful, yeah. Like a little book or a little CD or something.
Yeah, no, he's a good dude.
He's a good dude, but it's going to be a crummy
I'm not
gift.
getting the payday you're getting.
No, I'm getting Robin.
I at least try.
I'm thrilled.
Robin's going to get you, a bookcase made of a fucking antique ship or something.
Right. It's going to be something valuable. Something of great worth.
Nina.
She's going to buy me the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Donald Trump is, thank you. Donald Trump is on the phone. It's always good to speak to him.
Good morning.
Good morning. He's opinionated. Hi, how have you been?
I'm good.
I haven't seen you in a while.
I know, it's been a while. It's been too long.
I mean, you had a baby. You don't sit home with a baby.
No, it's never been my thing.
So how does that work?
I probably should, but it never has. No, Melania's a wonderful mother. She takes care of the baby, and I pay all the costs.
Are you afraid that the baby won't really know you in the sense that, I mean, I know you. You're not going to sit around and bounce a kid on your knee.
Right.
In fact, you're afraid of germs, and kids carry germs like crazy. Are you afraid to even touch your own kid?
That's right, absolutely.
I know. I see what you're saying.
When he has a cold, I just, keep him away from me.
Do you think the kid will be psychologically damaged? Your other kids grew up great, but...
They did. Well, they got lucky. It could be. It could very well be. And the other day he came back, he was playing with little children in the park, all little spoiled kids, right, like him.
Right.
And he came back, and I noticed there was a little sniffle Just a very slight sniffle. I wanted nothing to do with it.
How is that kid? You know the kid you had with Marla Maples?
Yes.
How's that one doing?
She's doing great. Tiffany.
Do you ever see her? Or
I do see her, and she's a great kid.
Yeah, she comes to town, visits a little bit.
Yeah, for about, an hour.
Are you going to?
Hi, Dad. Hi, Tiff. I love you, Tiff.
Are you
California?
She's
a great kid.
Are you going to hook her up in business like you did with the other two?
It depends on her abilities. I mean, we'll have to see. The other two, and now actually three, have a great business instinct. And, I don't know about that with Tiffany. She's very good. She's very smart. She's got great marks. She has all A's all the time. I mean, it's amazing. Her report cards are great. So
do you actually see the report cards?
I actually do. I glance at them.
Rank your kids in order from your favorite to your least favorite.
Oh. I like them all. I love them all.
So Melania stays at home with the kid. I see pictures of her. She's always with the baby.
Right.
But then when you want to go out and stuff, you got a full-time staff watching that kid, right?
Well, we have people to take care of. I mean, we can go out, but she really is a very hands-on mother.
I think you like your daughter the best.
I like them all.
I think you're most proud of her.
Yeah,
even better than the son.
She's great. No, the son is great. They're all really good kids. And if they weren't, I'd love them all the same. You just do. I know people that have one child who's just amazing, and then they have other kids that aren't, and they love them all the same. I love them all the same. And my son's done an amazing job in terms of business, actually, Don Jr.
Well, who isn't amazing, then?
So far, I'm lucky, Robin. I mean, so far, the kids have been good. I can't say. Eric just joined. He was a great student in school.
Which one is Eric?
He's the youngest son.
Eric is 6'6". He's exactly your height.
I don't even know which one.
Aren't you 6'6", Howard? Eric is your height. Yeah, that's with Ivana.
And what's the other son from?
As they say in the horse racing business, from Ivana.
Oh, I didn't realize there were three from Ivana.
That's right, three. And
wow.
He's been really good. I mean, very good student. Just started with me. I think he's going to be good. I mean, I'll let you know the answer to that question, Robin, in about 5 years.
Okay.
I've been thinking about this.
Some won't be so great. Who knows?
If I wasn't in love with Beth, I would totally be dating Donald's daughter.
She's getting hotter and hotter, isn't she?
She's getting hotter and hotter. She's wearing hotter outfits, and she really is good in business. I mean, to me, that's a hot package, and it would drive Donald nuts, but he'd have to accept me.
It would drive me totally nuts.
It would make
him mental. I love you, it would drive me totally nuts. Having you be the son-in-law, just, I don't know. But I think you and Beth make the perfect. When are you getting married, Howard?
I don't know, like maybe...
Will you just marry her, please?
Maybe next summer,
You're never going to find better.
No, she's great.
I know how to get you married quickly. If I represented Beth, I would tell her to do certain things. You would marry her so fast.
Yeah, to leave me for a while.
No, a little bit. I'd say call him up, tell him how much you love him, but you're leaving town for about a week or two.
I tell you better hope we don't break up, because I'm going right after your daughter.
That's interesting.
I'm not kidding. I know exactly who I got my sights
you have a vested interest.
That's right.
That's interesting.
And just think, Melania would be my stepmother.
Well, that would be also, that's a good-looking combination. No, I'll tell you, Ivanka she's really become a great beauty, but she's also really smart, and she's doing very well.
And then I go to that Mar-a-Lago, and I go to all the really waspy events.
All you do is hang around Donald's different houses.
You'd hang around, and I'd be sitting there miserable.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thought of Howard Stern with your daughter.
I'd be saying, can you believe this happened to me?
It'd be like the worst luck ever.
No, I could do worse. Not a hell of a lot worse, Howard. What do you think of it, right?
Am I really that bad?
Well, you'd be an interesting son-in-law.
I mean, I'm good in business.
I wouldn't say you're the classic. You're not exactly what I had in mind.
Right.
She's 25 years old. You're not exactly. But, of course, I wouldn't say I'm exactly what a lot of mothers have in mind either. But I do have.
Am I too Jewy?
Have some compensating balances.
Am I too Jewy to fit in with the Trump thing?
No, not at all.
No. Come on, let's be honest.
Be honest.
I'm too Jewy, aren't I?
Of course not.
With the schnoz and the whole thing.
No, not at all.
You know what you should do?
And then we'll get Ivanka to convert.
You know what you should do is become real Jewy. You should get with Ivanka. Yarmulke pay us, the whole thing.
I'd show up to Mar-a-Lago. Where's my father-in-law?
Tell him to get out here immediately.
He would kill himself.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
That would end your life.
Yeah, it would be fine, Howard. I tell you, in many ways, I'd love it. In many ways, I'd have a lot of fun. I'd be depressed, but also have some fun.
My feeling on you is, Donald Trump is mentioned in the Rosie O'Donnell book, of course, because of that big feud. But I think that that you like that Rosie O'Donnell is even acknowledging you in the book. I mean, it actually is good for your business in a sense and your celebrity.
Well, first of all, her book is a total disaster.
Is it?
It's ridiculous.
Did you read it?
And, I've seen excerpts of it. And there's absolutely, you gain nothing other than she banged her fingers with a baseball bat. This is a real beauty. And, when I took on Rosie, because Rosie, I didn't do anything. Somebody called me up from the press. They said, do you know Rosie O'Donnell went on a 15-minute tirade about you?
Right.
I said, she did? What did I do? And I gave Tara Conner, who's in the big show tonight, I gave Tara Conner a break. I gave her a chance to remain Miss USA and all that stuff and go to rehab. And it really, so far, it's been over a year, and so far she's been doing great.
And it set off Rosie O'Donnell.
And it set her off.
And that's an odd thing to set up.
Well, I've always said because she wanted Tara. She wanted her. So, one of those things. I'm sure I'm sure she would have loved to console Tara.
She calls Mr. Trump a torn scarecrow, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
And a slug.
Yeah, and I don't know what that means either.
I honestly did not anticipate the malice of his response. But
this is what she wrote in the book?
I assumed Donald believed he had money. I did not assume Donald believed he was money, but apparently he does. The stuffing of his self spilled out. Think of a torn scarecrow, only instead of hay, it's crisp $100 bills blowing through the cornfields. Boys, you two are really going at it.
I don't even know what the hell. I was a great student. I have no idea what she's talking about. I've always said Rosie's a dummy. Rosie's not smart. And Rosie's ratings were not good on The View until she started the feud with me.
Do you feel you're responsible for her success?
I feel I'm somewhat responsible, actually. Yes, I do.
And what about Barbara Walters?
She attacked Barbara Walters rather viciously, calling her old, has been, everything else in the book. And, here's the story of Rosie. It's very simple. Rosie was a loser before Barbara reinvented her career. Rosie failed on Broadway, failed with a magazine, and she got thrown off television. And believe me, she got thrown off because her ratings were no good.
No, but wait a second. Do you really believe that? I believe she was very successful on TV.
Well, she was at the beginning. But Rosie will always self-destruct, Howard. She'll always self-destruct. In the end, she's a loser. And Rosie's ratings were down, and they were going to throw her off.
But the book is successful, right? It's on the bestseller list.
I have no idea if it's successful or not. I mean, that I have no idea. But, hey, it certainly gets a lot of publicity. Now, I come out with a book on October 15th, and I am going to make a wager that my book sells much more than Rosie's.
Your books are very popular.
Now, who are you wagering with?
Yeah, who are you going to wager with?
Well, I would wager with Rosie, but I don't know. There's probably nobody to talk to, and I'm not necessarily. But that
would be good.
I was willing to wager something that my book outsells hers by a lot.
But listen, you both get invited to a lot of celebrity events and movie premieres and stuff. It is feasible that sometime in the near future, you will be at an event and run into her. I mean, you'll be staring at her face to face.
Look,
what would you do?
Started. She came to my wedding.
Do you think you could beat her up?
I think it would be close. She's pretty. If she ever fell in the wrong direction, I wouldn't have a chance.
She came to your wedding?
She came to my wedding.
Which one?
Marla.
No kidding.
She was at the wedding, and I got extremely angry because she ate almost the entire wedding cake.
I didn't get any wedding cake when I showed up.
Well, there was nothing left. That's right. You were at that wedding, too, come to think of it.
I don't remember her being there.
You killed me at that wedding.
I did.
Yeah, after the wedding.
Yeah.
You said there wasn't a dry eye in the house.
Yeah, I said it's not going to last more than 3 months. I was right.
No, you were wrong.
Oh, all right.
Lasted 5 years. But the problem was I was watching it on television with Marla. She wanted to make love, and I wanted to watch television to see how much press it got. And I turn on, and the first thing I see is Howard saying he actually said there wasn't a wet eye in the house.
That's it. That's what it was.
A great line. But now, I thought it was funny. Marla started to cry. Then the second thing, he said, I give it 3 months at best.
Yeah, it didn't go over well in that household.
It didn't go over well with me, believe me. I thought it was funny. I cracked up, and she wasn't laughing. She didn't think it was funny at all.
You even say...
But Rosie was at the wedding.
Right.
And... not as my guest, actually. She was more friendly with Marla. But I don't even know why she was at the wedding. I don't think Marla even knew her. For some reason, she came to the wedding.
It's funny that she was at the wedding, and then you guys ended up being such enemies.
Well, I didn't even know she was an enemy until she attacked me over Tara Conner. I mean, I had no idea she was an enemy.
You also make an enemy out of Elizabeth Hasselbeck from the show The View, as long as we're on this. You say she's the dumbest person on television. I believe you're right.
No, I gained new respect for her, though, because when she attacked Rosie and they had that debate, Elizabeth Hasselbeck killed her. And I've always said Rosie is not a smart person. Rosie is somebody who is, it was very sad because Barbara Walters put her back on television. Then she got into the fight with me, and that's when the ratings went up. I hate to say it. I'm not saying it in who cares?
Right.
But that's when the ratings went up. Her ratings were no good. Her ratings were about the same as they were. They were going along, and then in December she hit me with this thing. I responded everyone said don't respond, but I do respond. I'm like you. You have to respond to things. When
you
they
fight
call
back.
You bad, you fight back. I believe in that. And I do believe she wished she never attacked me, but let's see. They've done polls. 91% are in my camp on the polls.
But it is feasible that you and Rosie will make up one day. Like, I was always surprised that you let Imus off the hook. He said terrible things about you. You guys broke up as friends. In fact, I always was thrilled because you were on my show more and more and more. And but then you did go back and let him off the hook, so to speak.
Well, I don't remember him saying bad things about me, honestly, Howard. I mean, he may have. You're telling me he said bad things about me. I never knew that.
He did. Of course you did.
I never knew that.
You can't not remember that.
What was the thing?
You know what? I have a photographic memory. I don't remember. I mean, maybe he said something, but basically, I don't remember him ever. Had I known that, I would not have gone back.
Yeah, you said to me, you said, that fucking Imus, you said, go get him. He goes, I hate him too. He's a piece of shit.
I said that?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
right, you said he was
I've done his show. I didn't
so it
like
is
the way
feasible.
the last thing ended.
Should Imus be reemployed?
Well, here's the thing with Imus. He said something which was, not a good thing that he said, right?
Right.
But it's something that if you listen to a rap record, every rap record says the same thing. And Imus apologized, would you say 500 times?
Yes.
I think once is enough. If you have
Let
to
me ask you this. Why is there this clamor to have him back? He never got any ratings. His ratings are lower than anyone on radio, including Curtis and QB, who have no great ratings, but they always beat Imus, and now he might, they say in the paper, come back and replace Curtis and QB?
He had a high-level audience. He really did, Howard.
Don't believe it.
Well,
I saw the Scarborough report.
Howard, I don't want to argue about it. I can tell you this. Imus had a high-level audience.
No.
Every senator, every congressman, they listened to that show like it was a religion.
Let me tell you something.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you there's something called the Scarborough Report in radio. It's a very expensive thing to buy.
Right.
And the Scarborough Report tells you exactly who your audience is.
Right.
And this guy had running around telling people that he had a wealthy audience, a highly educated audience. You look at the Scarborough Report, that's all it does. It doesn't tell you ratings. It tells you who your audience is. You know who had the wealthy people and who had the people who had high education. Right here. But it pained everyone to believe it.
Well,
that's it.
I don't know. I can only say this. He treated me nicely. I wouldn't do a show very often, but when I did it once every 3 or 4 months, it was fine. I always felt he had a very high-end audience. And maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
You're wrong.
But I don't remember him attacking me. And if he did, I wish you would have told me that a long time ago.
I am going to remind you of that.
Now you're allowed to use the F word on your show.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
But I would have told him to, you know what? But I did not know he was attacking me.
Let me hear you say the F word. I don't believe I've ever heard that.
Fuck.
You do say fuck.
No, I do say it.
Do you talk dirty in bed when you're with Melania?
No, I don't.
You'll never say, fuck my brains out.
She's a very extraordinary person.
Would you ever use the word whore, like in a sexual situation? Would you say, come on, whore, give me, like something like that? Like when she goes,
I would never do that.
When she goes, oh, Donald, just call me a whore.
No. I would never do that.
How is the sex life post-baby? Because
very good.
I worry about you. I mean, I know you with the germ.
Why do you worry?
Because when a woman becomes a mother, Donald Trump likes a young, hot chick. He can certainly get him. He's proven that. And I worry that when a woman has a baby, he loses interest. And I'm really asking in a genuine way.
Well, it's sad. They say as you get older, the women stay the same.
That's right.
Yes, they do
That's
say
a very sad commentary, Robin, isn't it? I'm not saying that I say that, because of course I don't say that. But I have a friend who does like women, and he does well with women also. And he goes, as I get older, Donald, the women stay the same age.
That's right.
Now, that's a sad commentary. He likes 25, and they never, he's getting older and older, and the women are always 25, Well,
people will say that's immature, but...
well, wait a minute, but let's talk about
he's
Donald.
A terrible person.
We're generalizing.
Are you having as much sex with Melania since the baby? Be honest, and I know you always are.
Yeah.
You are.
The answer is yes.
Now, according to a show that I just watched...
Right.
On Oprah, of all places... an expert said if you're not having sex 4 times a week, you have trouble in your relationship.
Wow.
Are you having sex 4 times a week?
That I can't comment on, but I'm very satisfied.
Why can't you comment on that? A lot of people need to know this.
I don't want to have a front page story tomorrow. That's what.
No, the story is that you're not having
every
sex
time I do your show,
yes,
I end up with a front page or close story.
No, but are you having...
And what I'm doing is, and Robin, you know this, I'm kidding. I'm kidding around. I'm having fun. All of a sudden, it ends up being like front page.
See, you can't even have any fun.
If you were single
I'll give you an example. You know that View? I did the View, right?
Right.
And it was terrible what they did. I did the View, and they were talking about Ivanka. And I said, Ivanka is so beautiful. Now, I said it laughing. The audience was laughing. Everybody was laughing. I said, Ivanka is so beautiful that if she weren't my daughter, I'd be dating her. Okay.
Right.
So they put out a press release. Trump wants to date his daughter.
I remember that.
Oh, it's terrible.
The press release should have been, I want to date your daughter.
No, but you understand.
Yes.
It's bigger news that Donald
I didn't like the View, and then they put that slob Rosie on.
Does that daughter have a boyfriend right now?
She does.
She does?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Do you like him?
Nice guy. Very rich guy. Very nice guy.
What do you mean very rich?
He's a very rich guy. Much less money than me, but he's a very rich guy.
What does he do?
It's a real estate family.
And you approve?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I mean, it's her choice. Other than you, I approve.
Wow. And are you worth $8 billion right now? That is the figure I have in front of me.
I think so, yeah.
You're worth $8 billion.
It depends on what things sell for, but I think probably so, yeah, around there.
Nice. Nice. That's such a feeling of security.
Hey, you used to know me when I was worth nothing.
I know.
Howard, you knew me years ago in 1990 when the markets had crashed, the world had crashed. I had borrowed billions and billions of dollars. I was in deep crap. And you knew me when I was worth probably nothing. I might have been worth less than nothing, okay? Howard, and you never attacked me. Robin used to attack me.
Yes.
Not when you were down. Not when you were down.
Yeah, actually, Robin started attacking me on the way up.
That's right.
That's
better.
I like that better.
Do you ever think...
Hey, Robin, that's more loyal.
Do you think that you will stay with Melania even as she gets older?
Oh, absolutely.
You really do?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
You're in love.
She's great.
I don't believe it.
You know, she's a great person. She's beautiful. She's solid. She is wonderful in every way.
Is she next to you right now?
I'll tell you what, she's an unbelievable mother.
Is she next to you right now? Is that why you're saying this?
No, she's not, actually. She's in the other room.
Where are you, in your apartment?
I'm in my apartment.
What are you wearing?
Undies.
Really?
Yeah.
What's Melania wearing?
Nothing.
She's nude right now.
I think so.
How's the body after the baby?
Unbelievable.
Just as tight?
One of the best bodies I've ever seen.
No stretch marks?
No. One of the best. And she, about 15 seconds after the baby came, she went back to the normal way.
Did you demand that of her?
No.
Is that in your prenup?
No, but that's the way it worked out. I mean, she is in great shape.
And what is... Okay, let me give you a hypothetical. Melania gets into a horrible car accident.
Right.
She now dies. She's on a respirator.
Right.
How long do you think you'd wait until you started dating again?
I'd probably never go out with another woman again.
If you were single today, and I know you fantasize about stuff like this, who would you be dating? Who is the girl that right now captures your attention?
There aren't too many of them. I'll tell you, you and I have discussed this over the years. The most beautiful women aren't the major celebrities. Because, you can name, somebody told me Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron. I told you she's hot.
Was just voted the best-looking woman.
Yes.
To be honest with you, I think Ivanka's much better looking than her.
I agree.
But I'll tell you this. I've seen her. She's not. There are many unbelievably beautiful women around, but they're not the big celebrities. You rarely see a big celebrity that's that beautiful.
Why is that?
Because they have to be smart.
Ah.
And to be a major player, when you're successful in life, like I know, over the years I've known all the supermodels, I've known everybody. They're beautiful, but they're also very smart. You don't get to be a supermodel by being a dummy.
Right. You got to play the game. You got to be good in business.
You got to know what's going on. You got to know life. Because there are a lot of really great beauties. But the greatest beauties aren't necessarily the most famous people.
And
so what I do is I go out with the greatest beauties, and then they become famous.
Do you think it would have been hard for you if your daughter had been ugly, like a big, chubby kid? Like maybe, look like me? You know what I mean?
I think it would have been a little different, but... I mean, I'm building a big building in Soho, the Trump Soho, it's called. And
right.
I'm using Ivanka in the ads. This way I don't have to pay a model, it's cheaper.
Right.
But I'm using Ivanka in the ads. And the building is like through the roof. It's like this huge success. It's, where it is, by the tunnel and by the Holland Tunnel and all. and it's just going up now. It's 45 stories. There was some clamoring about it. Oh, gee, it's too tall, and I don't understand it, considering the next tallest building in the area is about 3 stories. I don't know what they're complaining about. And now they want to stop tall buildings in that area, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, of course.
No, I'm all for it. This way you'll have unobstructed views forever. In fact, I'll have to change. If they do that, I'll immediately change my advertising. Say unobstructed views forever.
There's a rumor that you once had an ugly child, but you had the child killed.
Oh.
Is that true?
No.
That is not true. All right.
No, it's not true.
Now, Donald Trump has done something I've been talking about for years. And I have said this, and Robin, you've heard me say it. I said these beauty pageants are becoming a thing of the past because I said, wouldn't it be interesting if they turned them into reality shows?
Yes,
so that
you have said that.
If you really knew the girls, if you could watch them,
you'd have a stake in it.
You'd have a stake in it. I even say that with I said that with football even, and when they started that new league with Vince McMahon. I said, if you knew the players. So Donald Trump has created a new reality show.
Pageant Place.
Pageant Place.
On tonight at 10:30 on MTV.
Now, what is this? Is this the 3 girls that live together?
It follows the lives of Miss Universe, Miss USA, Miss Teen USA. Donald Trump actually puts them all up in his apartment.
Yeah.
And former Miss USA, Miss Teen USA is there.
Right.
And they all live together. Tara Connor. And they all live together.
And fight together.
Right.
And kiss together.
They do?
Yeah.
They get it on. They get it on with each other.
Well, part of Tara's thing. I mean, she was. They say she was having an affair with Miss Teen USA.
Oh, that's hot.
And Miss Teen USA is beautiful also. And people were captivated by that. It's sort of interesting. I don't know if you got to see the girl that couldn't answer the question on the map.
Oh yes,
we did. Well, that's my deal. That's my thing. Everyone said that I set that up. I didn't.
That's great.
I wish I could promote like that.
It wasn't even a hard question.
It was the biggest thing on the internet in like 6 months.
That's true.
Now, I'll tell you why. Her answer was amazing, right? You have to say. They gave her like 7 or 8 passwords.
Is she retarded?
They told her, they gave her Iraq, they gave her education, they gave her South Africa. She took every password that they gave her, in other words, for question.
Right.
They're like keywords for the pageants, right? Make sure you mention Iraq and peace and things. And she took every word they gave her and she wielded it into this paragraph. And nobody knew what the hell she said. Okay, but that's okay. It was a bad answer.
Right.
It's made her a lot of money, by the way, that answer. But
that's right.
It was a bad answer. But why did she have like 29 million hits, which is more than anything, including the war, including
because she's hot.
Because she's beautiful.
Because she's beautiful.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch a hot woman be humiliated.
By the way, that girl isn't hot. She's one of the most beautiful human beings I've ever seen. And what happened? She's 18 years old, and you have to say, standing there. In fact, David Letterman did something which was funny. They played it. And she was so beautiful, they said, let's play it again. I thought the answer was absolutely fine. Let's play it. Which is actually very funny. They played it twice. But it was so amazing because her beauty was so incredible, and yet the answer was like people were saying, what is she saying? It didn't make any difference because she's so beautiful. Now, she's an 11. Charlize Theron if you saw them together,
you would go for the girl, the less famous girl.
Let's put it this way: you wouldn't even think about it.
Right?
It wouldn't be. It's not even a contest. That's what I mean about people that are famous and not.
But in the old days, you would have been tagging her. That's the crazy thing.
Well, in the old days, believe me, I would have been. I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Right? You'd be all over her.
All over. So this kid is gorgeous.
If Melania got fat.
No, she is. But let me.
Would you be with her?
If this girl weren't an 11, if she were 7 or 8 or 9, nobody would have cared about the answer.
You're absolutely right.
They give bad answers all the time. They give bad answers. I've never heard one quite like that, I guess. But they give bad answers all the time.
And your point is, with this new reality show, Pageant Place, on MTV tonight,
right,
is that you're going to see a lot of hot chicks doing a lot of dumb things.
Well, I'll tell you what. I bought the Miss Universe pageant almost 10 years ago.
Right.
And a lot of people wanted it, but I got it. And I took a pageant, which is a concept that people used to say, oh, you can't make it with a pageant. And look at Miss America. They were off the air, and I just got renewed on NBC for 3 years with the Miss Universe and the Miss USA pageants. Right? They just renewed it for 3 more years because we get very good ratings. I took the pageants and made them hot. But about 3 years ago, I have an obligation to do this, Howard. I go backstage, and I have to go through the dressing rooms of the girls.
I feel bad for you.
And I have an obligation. You know what? If anybody else did that, they'd be considered a terrible person. When I do it, I'm considered the owner, and I have an obligation to make sure the rooms are clean and everything.
Right.
So I walk through, and I see all these girls like an hour and a half before the pageant starts, and you'll get to see some of that in this whole thing. And I see they're fighting, and they're pushing each other, and they're mean. I mean, it's terrible.
It's great.
And they're fighting for like they have certain stylists and the people that do the hair, you know.
And that's probably more interesting than the actual pageant.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what. I said this would make a great reality show. This happened like 3-4 years ago. I said that, and I put together a group, and I went to. I'll tell you what, MTV is doing it, but everybody wanted it, and we came up with a great name, Pageant Place, and basically it's the lives of these girls. Now, it's going to get better as it goes along because we didn't cover that much because we didn't really do the idea until sort of after the pageant. But next year we're going to have it, running like 2 weeks before the pageant comes, and it's going to be even more unbelievable. But the show is unbelievable. The fighting.
Well, we're going to tune in. I will definitely watch that. Let me ask you one last thing here. Mark Cuban is a billionaire who is, he always tries to be like you. He is on Dancing with the Stars. Do you watch that because you have a rivalry with him? Do you watch?
Well, I haven't watched it, but actually, I have seen him dance, and he's not bad.
You would never do something like that, though.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Is it demeaning to do something?
They would love to have me do it.
Of course, but
I wouldn't do it. But I know Mark Cuban a little bit, and Mark's a loser. Mark is a guy.
Will he win Dancing with the Stars, or is he so much?
I don't think he'll win. No,
Right.
he won't win. But he's a better dancer than I would have thought.
Why is he a loser? It seems like he's a wealthy.
Here's what happens with Mark. Mark. It just seems that, in fact, I use him as an example. If he, I give speeches and 45,000 people show up for the Learning Annex, and I use him sometimes as an example. I say, if Mark Cuban can make money, anybody can. Right. You just have to know a certain system. I mean, Mark is somebody that should have won the playoffs last year and got blown out. Should have won the year before it was over. I mean, he should have won and he got blown out. He devotes so much time, so much money to everything, and it just doesn't work.
What is he worth?
I'd say he's worth $1 billion.
$1 billion?
Yeah.
So that's not even in your category.
No, he's not as wealthy as I am. No, but that's not the point. What happened is very simple. I did The Apprentice. It became the #1 show on television.
Right, and he imitated it.
It just got renewed for 2 more years, by the way. We start shooting next week. But it's like this monster show, The Apprentice, right?
Right.
And he would say nice things about me, and something nobody knows. He lives in one of my buildings in New York. I don't know if you know that or not.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, when he's in New York, he lives in one of my buildings. He has an apartment in one of my buildings. It's got Trump on it. Trump all over the place. But Mark was very nice, and he'd say good things about Trump. Trump's smart, Trump. That was fun. And then he does the show, and some guy said, like a month before his show went on, you can't be nice to Trump. You've got to attack Trump.
Uh-huh.
So he starts attacking me. He doesn't want to shake hands with people. He starts, whatever he could think of, he'd say. And he starts really attacking me. And I said, wow, that's terrible. Well, he attacked me just like Rosie attacked me, and I attacked back. And his show went on, and it was the worst piece of crap. He was terrible on it.
Right.
And it got no ratings, and they threw him off the air. And now he's trying to do something else. Now, this isn't his show, but I will say I think he dances pretty well. Not bad.
Well,
I mean, when I looked at Wayne Newton, poor Wayne Newton, I felt so sorry for him.
They should put him in a box. It looks like he's ready to go.
I felt what happened?
Well,
could I ask you what happened to Wayne? Is that plastic surgery or what?
Yes.
Will that happen to us too, Howard?
No, I'm not going to. I've made a decision in my life. I am not pulling.
Normal.
I'm going to be normal. I am not going to pull my face back.
Has Donald ever done anything?
These people with plastic, I haven't. But these people with plastic surgery, you walk into some of these clubs. You go into I'll go into a nightclub or a big restaurant or something. And you'll see some of these people with the plastic surgery, and all you do is say, oh, hi, and you just look at them and you say they had plastic surgery.
That's right.
What's the purpose of it?
Well, look at some of
the thing I don't understand.
Look at Clint Eastwood, I think, has even done it. And,
no.
Yeah,
I hope not. I love Clint Eastwood. I hope he hasn't. The worst thing, though, on women is the pumped lips.
Yes.
Yeah.
You never see it. It's never been done well.
Can you imagine how painful that must be? But I don't get the pumped lips. Of all the things, Robin, you don't do that, do you?
Of course not.
Good.
Robin is perfect.
Of all the things, I don't understand the pump lips. They look terrible.
Yes, the worst. Well, they all want to look like Angelina Jolie. She's got that.
I don't understand either because I don't think she's good looking.
Well, she's ruined her looks, has she not, with the dieting?
I don't know what it is. I never thought she was good looking. I don't think she's got good skin. I don't think she's got a great face. I think her lips are too big, to be honest with you. They look like too big.
Yeah.
I don't think she's good looking. And it's funny. You talk about a transformation. Now the United Nations is honoring her as this great wonder. I remember 3 years ago when she was Frenching her brother at the Academy Awards.
That's right.
She was walking in with Billy Bob. The next time she's walking in with Billy Bob, and she was saying she just got screwed.
Now she's saving the world. That's right.
Now they're saying she's a lady of the peace. Give me a break. But I never thought she was good looking.
Well, I'm surprised to hear you say that. That's one I would have said was good looking, but now she has lost too much weight.
Well, I don't think she's good looking.
Well, look, we could talk all day.
I think she's a solid 7.
A 7?
Yeah, she's a 7. But a 7 is not a 10.
Who is a 10 right now?
Ivanka.
Right.
I think, let's see, a 10. There are very few of them around.
So you can't even think of one.
Well, I happen to think Paris is a very good-looking girl. Forgetting about the
she's
other
not
stuff.
a 10.
No, but she's very different looking. I think Paris is a good-looking girl.
I think she's good-looking, but she's not a 10.
There are, there are a lot. The 10s are very, very hard to find. I think
who's a solid 9?
Well, I'd have to think about it, Robin, because, I'd really have to go through my list.
Is Britney Spears mentally ill?
It's a sad thing. She's worked for me many times. And
right.
In her heyday, like 3-4 years ago. And, if I had Britney Spears perform, I'd have kids come from all over the world. She was like a goddess.
Right.
And that was when she was saying she was a virgin and she was this, and she was so cute. And I remember I was in an audience at the Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, and she was performing, and I was in the 4th row, and she was sweating and looked beautiful, and she threw her hat. Right? Now, normally, if a performer throws a hat and it's sweaty and wet and everything, I have no interest in it, right?
Right.
But I grabbed that sucker, right?
Yeah.
It didn't bother me.
Right.
Meaning, you know what I'm saying.
You're saying she's so cute.
No, she was so cute and wholesome and nice.
You weren't even afraid of her germs.
I wasn't afraid of those germs. And, today if she threw it, I'd say, get that sucker out of here.
Will Joe Torre be fired from the Yankees?
Well, I hope not. But, he might be better.
Yes or no, will he be fired?
I think probably, but it's too bad. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's a friend of mine.
Donald Trump has done it again. He's got yet another television show. Who will be the next president?
Well, it's going to be between Rudy and Hillary, in my opinion.
Who's going to be the next president?
I don't know. It's going to be a very tough race.
Who will you vote for? Rudy or Hillary?
I don't want to comment yet because they're both very good friends of mine. I'll have to comment.
It's a tough decision, isn't it?
Well, they're both very, very good friends of mine.
I'm going for Rudy if it's between the two.
Well, Rudy's a great guy, and he's a fantastic, loyal guy who's done an amazing job. They're both great people, Howard.
Well, let me ask you, Donald, who's better for business?
Well, it's very interesting with Democrats. Democrats get it, and business does very well, although in theory they're not good for business. Mm-hmm. Who's going to keep taxes lower? Probably Rudy.
But Hillary says she's going to tax the rich. That would be you.
Yeah, okay, I'm here.
Watch Donald Trump's show, Pageant Place, premiering tonight at 10:30 on MTV. This is where girls who live together in Donald Trump's apartment, one of his apartments. Beautiful, hot chicks, and they are beautiful. I've seen them. He wouldn't put any slouches on.
They are seriously beautiful.
If any of them show any signs of ugliness or aging, they're off the show.
They get terminated immediately.
Who's that? How old is the oldest woman you've ever been with? I'm saying this for a point to show you people what kind of standards you have.
I'm with a woman who's 35.
35?
Yeah. Melania.
Would you think you'll be with her when she's 40?
Oh, yes, I think so. I have no doubt, Howard.
Ivana how old was she when you got divorced?
Well, that's an interesting question.
It really is.
I would say probably about 35.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you have the best prenup in the business?
I have a great one, yeah. Great.
What does it mean? If Melania and you should split up, God forbid...
It's X dollars.
She gets nothing.
Yeah, but I would never have to use it.
Do you give her $10 million?
I can't talk about what I give her, but, it's fun. But
would it be in the range of $10 million?
I have no doubt. In fact, I'm doing a book called Think Big. It's a whole big thing. It's called Think Big and Kick Ass. And it comes out on October 15th.
They're letting you use that title?
But wait a second. Would you...
Yeah, and I talk about the prenup.
All right, in a prenup, you're a man worth, let's say, $8 billion, depending on what day it is.
Right. It changes rapidly.
What is a fair amount of money? You've been married to a woman, you had a kid with her. Is $10 million the right amount? Is it $5 million?
It'd be fine. Yeah.
10 is fine.
5 is better, though. And one is even better.
Oh, my God.
I remember I was reading Fortune magazine.
One is better. You would leave your ex-wife with $1 million.
Of course he would.
Absolutely.
It's a real man.
I wouldn't even think about that. But listen to this.
Oh, my goodness.
I was reading, I think it was Fortune, but about a couple of years ago, they did stories on really rich people and how they're getting killed in divorces. You know, a guy works his ass off and a woman cooks the dinner and she gets, $1 billion, right?
Right.
So anyway, so they're doing the story. And I'll never forget, they had a list of really rich people. And I was the richest guy on the list. They had me at X dollars. And they had, like, McCaw. Did you ever hear of McCaw, this phone guy? And they said he's worth $1.9 billion. Wendy is his wife. I never heard of her, but I remember the name because I have a good memory. I remember names. And she got like $900 million. And they went down this list. And, all these guys, he's worth $1 billion, she gets $500. Another guy's worth $2 billion. They had me at $2.9 billion, and they had Marla Maples, $1 million.
Wow.
Right.
Now, it was just a chart. It was a story on divorce, and they didn't mention it in the story, nothing. It was just a chart. I got more phone calls of genius on that call.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly.
I got more calls. Seriously, Howard, I got more friends of mine calling, you're genius. What?
So Melania gets $1 million if she...
No. She gets whatever she gets, but I'm just...
Tell me what she gets. I want to know.
Well, I won't tell you, but...
Why?
I will tell you this, Howard. She'd be very happy, but she'd be very unhappy because she's losing me and she loves me.
Well, losing you would be the biggest loss.
Losing me would be a major.
Yes, that's devastating. We understand that.
That's right.
People love me. They love me like they love Howard for the same reasons, because we're wackos.
Didn't you hold a fundraiser for Giuliani?
Yes.
But do you hold fundraiser for Clinton as well?
I did, yes.
You did.
Well, I'd like her to win in the Democratic side. Rudy to win in the Republican
I agree with you. We're 100% in
and then I have to, make a decision because you have to go. But they're both great people, Howard.
They are. They're both very good. I happen to think so.
I think they're both going to win, and then it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
All right, listen, we could do this all day.
I do say this, Howard. If Rudy stays on his issue of the war,
he's in trouble.
He can't win the election. I agree with you.
Anybody who supports the war, even vaguely or remotely, is going to lose the election.
I believe that too.
What about all this talk about Iran now and that being the next war front?
Well, that's different.
That's a whole other issue.
That's a different issue. But I'm just saying, Iraq, we should have never been in there in the first place. This guy fought terrorists. Now it's a breeding camp for that. Bush is the worst president in the history of the United States.
Absolutely.
He's a total disaster.
That's
he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yep.
I really don't think he has much of an IQ. I can't imagine he has any IQ at all. He's the worst president in the history of the United States. He's a disaster. And anybody that stays in Iraq, or even look what happened to McCain. He wants to, show how tough he is. He goes in, with the war.
He's sunk.
And immediately, and that's with the Republicans.
Yep.
Right.
No,
that's
Republicans and Democrats.
That's with people that are hawks. That's with
right.
people that believe in the war and stuff, and they don't even want to vote.
You're absolutely 100% right.
So that's the story.
And I would tell you if you were wrong. Watch Donald Trump's show, Pageant Place. It premieres tonight at 10:30 on MTV. Here's the formula. Hot chicks all being dopey with one another.
In one apartment.
And scantily clad, I assume.
That's a formula that's worked over the years, Howard.
There is no other formula. That's the formula.
That's the one tried and true. They've tried others.
You're not
tried and true.
I tried others. It's the only one that seems to work for me.
Good-looking girls, lots of sex, lots of action. It works.
Best of luck with the show.
Have a good time.
All right. Take care. The great Donald Trump. There you go. All right. That's a fun interview. See what I mean?
He can roll with it. I like that.
He's good. I'd give him his own show right here.
He's a great guy.
Get him a fucking show, Artie.
Yeah. Artie, are you with us?
I'm with you.
He quiets down during the He knows when to come in and
No.
I
just his head is down. I can't see if his eyes are open.
I'm here.
The heroin addict.
Who this?
Milk crate marauder. It's the coordinator. The milk crate and I used to fuck all the bug-shaped housekeepers in Beverly Hills. Fuck your freedom. Fuck the migrants.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
You understand?
Well, this girl, if you recall...
How old is Carla Bruni?
She must be, I think, in her 40s.
Because you know what? She used to date Trump, I think.
She did date Trump at one time. At least he's on her list. But the list is a nice one. Mick Jagger, Eric Clapton, Kevin Costner, and Donald Trump.
Oh, she's 39.
39, okay.
Boy.
And she was the one who was rumored to have broken up Mick Jagger and Jerry Hall. That caused the breakup of that relationship.
She could break up any relationship.
And of Donald Trump and Marla Maples.
Yeah, well, she's that hot. Wonder why Trump never married her.
I don't know.
Have to ask him.
Maybe she wasn't clean enough.
Yeah, we need to interview him.
He likes him clean.
Get him on the phone.
So how come you stopped banging Carla Bruni? What happened there?
And they are speculating
Hey,
that...
Gary, see if you can get Donald Trump on the phone and so we can ask him why he stopped...
Because there's news.
Yeah, we need to know why he stopped banging Carla Bruni. Tell him just one question, take 2 seconds of his time.
I'll call him right now.
All right, thanks.
There has been speculation that Sarkozy's going to marry this girl. He just got divorced. But he has now said to the French press that he is serious about Bruni, but there will be no wedding.
Sarkozy. Isn't that what they call cancer? Sarkozy?
There's
sarcosis.
Something sarcoma.
Oh. Well, anyway, good for him.
Carcozy sarcoma. That's
there you
what
go.
it is.
I knew it was something like that.
Yeah.
919, Mr. Trump.
Mr. Trump.
Howard.
How are you?
Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year to you. Hi.
And by the way, congratulations on another season of The Apprentice.
Yeah, and it just went on Thursday night, and it was #1 for the week.
There you go.
This, huh?
Well, hey, listen.
How do you deal with those nuts you've got working with you this time?
Oh, what a crew you got.
I have some crew. This time I have some crew.
That's Stephen Baldwin.
Crew. Stephen.
Yeah.
You know, Stephen's a lot different than I thought. He's more solid than I thought. I thought he was a total flake, and he's not.
Yeah, no, he's not a bad guy.
No, he's good.
I like Stephen. He's good. Hey, listen, we don't want to take up a lot of your time, but we're doing the news here, and I said I'm going to call Mr. Trump to find out the answer to this.
Go ahead.
It is reported that the president of France has left his wife.
Well, he's divorced.
He's divorced, and he's taken up with Carla Bruni.
Right.
Who's a beautiful woman. They have a picture of her in a bikini today. I don't know if you saw it in the paper.
Yes.
Okay.
Very flat-chested woman.
Okay. Let me ask you.
Not your kind of woman, Howard.
Well, wait a second. Robin says that she broke up you and Marla Maples.
No, that's not true.
That's what it says here in this little account I'm reading.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
No, that is not true.
It's not true that Carla Bruni... Okay. Why did... I was... The
did
question
you date
was,
her?
Did you date her?
May I say no comment?
No.
Let me just say no comment. I'm trying to be a diplomat for this country.
But why would you say...
As a great diplomat, Howard, as a great diplomat for this country, let me just say no comment.
No, but I don't understand something.
Go ahead.
Is Carla... I mean, from the picture I'm looking at...
Yes, I know Carla.
She is a magnificent beauty, it looks like in the picture. Is she not that hot?
Well, let's say that there are better.
Really?
So,
by large margins.
Because I said to Robin, why would Donald Trump stop banging Carla Bruni? She looks magnificent in this picture.
Well, you stop her when you meet somebody better.
So that's when you met your wife?
Well, it's a complicated thing, but no, I know Carla, and but I just don't want to comment on.
Was she bad in bed?
I can't comment on that.
Why?
She's going to marry the president of France.
So what? She must have gotten better. This guy is gone crazy over her.
I want to have good relationships with France, right? I don't want to be criticizing the first lady of France.
Hey, but are you shocked that this guy has fallen? He's a coxman. Why is she?
I'm a little surprised, but I'm happy for both of them.
What turns you off?
I like him. I think he's somebody that's really terrific, and he's pro the United States.
I agree.
I don't want to make him anti the United States.
No, this will never get out any further than this show.
This won't get out other than your 5 million viewers.
No, it won't. Listen to me.
Go ahead.
I really want a true answer. What turned you off to Carla Bruni?
I can't comment on that.
This is crazy.
You know what? I'll tell you why I can't, Howard. I mean...
I bet her ass smells.
I know her well. But I can't comment on that because I want to have good relationships with the wonderful country of France.
What does that mean? You mean you want to have buildings built there? Or
Well, maybe I'll build a building right smack in the middle of Paris.
If you keep this quiet,
why would
you'll have leverage.
I get zoning all over the world.
But why would you be afraid to speak? I mean, really, this isn't going to affect your relationship with France. He's going to dump her.
You think he's going to dump her?
Well, if you found something, I'm sure he's going to find the same thing.
He may find the same thing. I don't know what he's going to find, but I hope they're happy together.
You know what, Donald? You should tear down that Eiffel Tower and put up a casino.
Well, do you know they originally wanted to tear down the Eiffel Tower? Do you know the Eiffel Tower was built just during the World's Fair?
Yeah, it was a temporary structure.
It was a temporary structure.
Is that true?
Yeah. Went crazy. They considered it to be the ugliest thing that was ever built. There were riots in the street, and it was going to be ripped down, and they had budgetary problems, so ripping it down. So they said, let's do it next year. Then they said, let's do it next year. Then all of a sudden, people started liking it, and it stands today. And that was like in the 1800s.
Yeah.
You're driving me crazy. I want to know what's wrong with Carla Bruni.
I thought that was a very interesting dialogue.
Yeah, but I want to know what's wrong. I hear you're trying to get Tavern on the Green, the agreement.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
It'd be nice if you put good food in there.
Run poorly.
Yeah.
Run poorly. Warner was a great friend of mine, and he ran it. That was his baby. That was his child, and he ran it great. And, since then, and that happens often with children. It's called children. They take over a business, and that's the end of that. Right?
What are you trying to say, Donald? Are you telling us something?
Hopefully my children will finish that. But I'm just saying, typically, that happens. You've heard about that before.
Why can't Tavern on the Green have great food? I would go there all the time.
Well, it should have great food, and it should have carpet that's not threadbare.
Right.
You walk in the
it's a beautiful spot.
4,000 years. It started about the time of the Eiffel Tower.
What do you have to do to take control?
I don't know. I mean, I'll have to. I have the Wollman Rink, and I have a long-term lease on the Wollman Rink, and we run that really well, and it's a huge success. I mean, Saturdays you have lines going back, through Central Park. It's incredible.
So you have a couple of people competing with you to get the lease for Tavern on the Green?
In life, unfortunately, you always have competition.
So how close are you to
I don't know. I mean, it'll go out to bid, and, there'll be other people, and we'll see. But they like me because I do such a good job with the rink.
You're not hopeful?
Huh?
Are you hopeful?
Do you have any contacts in the city, Howard?
I do. I absolutely do. I had a rest stop named after me.
For the rest of your life.
So you're refusing to comment. This is very strange.
No, I know, Carla, but I think it's inappropriate for me to comment about it.
Boy, I'd love to know the backstory.
Man, he's going to get a good deal.
Come on.
And I really think
I know. So what? So was it a personality?
I really do. I think he's a terrific guy. He's very, very pro the United States.
No, I agree with you.
That's the first time that's ever happened with France.
I agree with you. I like this guy. I like what he's saying about the United States. But aside from him, I'm just talking Carla Bruni stuff. I'm talking women now.
Why didn't she work out with you?
But I just don't think it's appropriate.
Because it's probably just a her and you thing. A chemistry thing.
I'd rather not. I mean, because I just don't think it's appropriate.
She probably laid there like a fish. Right?
I won't comment.
Or was it a personality?
No, it's a whole thing. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I hope he's happy.
Did she smell?
Huh?
Did she smell?
I don't want to comment on it.
That's a yes.
Come on, Donald.
Howard, you're talking about the potential first lady.
She's not marrying him. He's not gonna rush.
He's smitten. No, it sounds to me like he's smitten.
Nah, he's gonna date her and he's gonna do what you do.
If he doesn't marry her, he's never gonna be able to run France.
It sounds to me like he's smitten. He's not a chess man. He's not into the world of chess.
She's flat as a board? What is she, an A cup?
Maybe. What comes before A?
A minus.
Yeah, A minus.
A minus cup.
What
comes before A, dude?
Howard, just to get off this subject. Hey, Robin, help me here. When are you getting married?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm
wondering, too.
We're looking at 08, of course, this year. We're looking at maybe the fall.
Well, I hope I'm going to be invited to that wedding. That'll be a great wedding. Let me tell you.
You really want to go?
Yes, I would come. If you invite me, I'd come. Listen, you sent me...
Now you're pressured.
I don't know if that's a
Gotta
good
have a
sign.
wedding.
Howard, I don't know. Is that a good sign? Or, by the way, are you proud of me that The Apprentice became the #1 show?
Yeah, I said on the air the other day, I said, God bless you. I said, I think it's great. I said, if you could take that crew and make a #1 show out of it.
It's amazing.
I said, then you're worth your weight in gold.
Okay, so you're getting married in 08.
08, probably the fall. But
will you or will you not have a prenuptial agreement?
We will. Oh, that's already been discussed.
You have to have that, yeah.
But you haven't started working on it.
Do you think he would have been happier with a prenuptial agreement? I watched him on Larry King before he got married.
Who?
Paul McCartney.
And Larry King asked him, Sir Paul, will you have a prenuptial agreement? He said, absolutely not. Absolutely.
He's nuts.
That poor bastard, if he only had one. She only wants $250 million.
Yeah.
I think
and you know what?
A couple of years of marriage.
He really blew it. I mean, what a dumb move.
I don't get the whole deal. I didn't get it from day one, but now I really don't get it. So it's one of those things. Howard, I have to go back.
Go ahead. When you're ready to talk to me about Carla Bruni.
I will talk to you if I want to ever talk to you anybody about Carla. I will talk to you first. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah,
bye, Donald.
Yeah, he banged Carla Bruni, but what happened?
That's a picture of her naked.
That's a picture of her naked? She's not that flat.
No.
Oh, she's hot. I would love to know. Let's look at this picture of this woman.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm smitten myself, and I don't even know her. Look.
Donald obviously likes a fuller, developed woman.
No, there's something up there. She burned his ass. Look at her. What a beauty. Not on. Look at that, with a completely nude except for a sweater tied around her vagina.
You got a perfect body. That's it. That's why I demand that in my women.
Wonder if she likes girls. But she does.
Well, listen to those crazy songs.
Listen to my voice. It's completely changed.
If you don't lick my pussy, you are out of my fucking bed.
All right, honey. Is that from Carla Bruni?
Yeah, that's the interview.
Interview.
Why she broke up with Arnold.
If you don't lick my pussy, you are out of my fucking bed.
Yeah.
You have said.
That's some quote. Never heard it said pissy.
Pissy. If you don't lick my pussy, you are out of my fucking bed. Pissy?
That's a better name for it, because that's where you piss out of.
My pissy.
Pissy.
Who this?
milkcratemarauder.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
You understand?
Artie loves pancakes. He'll wash them down with chocolate shakes. He's gaining so much goddamn weight, 'cause Artie loves pancakes. He's gonna be on Entourage, but his ass is the size of a garage. He's gonna lose that job. He can't wipe his ass on the bowl, 'cause all those pancakes block his asshole. What a fat slob. 'Cause Artie loves pancakes. He'll wash them down with chocolate shakes.
Yeah.
He's gaining so much goddamn weight.
Do it.
'Cause Artie loves pancakes. Artie loves pancakes.
Come on.
He'll wash them down with chocolate shakes.
Yeah.
He's gaining so much
What?
goddamn weight.
Oh,
'Cause
all right.
Artie loves pancakes.
Donald Trump just came here.
You're kidding.
What's he on a tight schedule?
He's like our Bob Hope. He just runs in.
Nah, he was scheduled.
Oh, okay.
He just wants to get right on.
Oh,
He's a busy guy.
He's the Donald.
Listen, he's used to getting his way, and why not?
I just
There
did
he is.
stand-up at his Taj Mahal the other day.
You
with
did
Bubba.
stand up at the Taj Mahal?
With Bubba, yeah. That's where Bubba was.
How are you?
Hey, Mr. Trump. Look at you, looking good. I think you dropped a few.
Hey, Donald, how you doing?
Artie just walked your... put on those headphones or else we won't hear you. Here, hold on. Now we
You
can
mess
hear.
up my hair.
Your hair looks good. Artie just worked your place. Artie just did
That's
stand-up.
right.
I was at the Taj. Yeah, it was.
You know what? I heard it was very successful.
Yeah,
very good.
Well, even Mr. Florentine was at one of
Robin's boyfriend.
Trump's properties.
Yeah, with Nick DiPaolo. That's a great.
Very good. That's right. It's very good.
How you doing in this economy? Are your assets down or are they up?
Well, I'm all over the world now, Howard. We're doing 73 jobs all over the world, and
When you
in
say
other
jobs,
parts
what
of
do you
the
mean,
world.
buildings? Yeah.
Like in Dubai, in the Middle East, and in China, and lots of other
Who's
places.
going to go to Dubai? I keep hearing about this
Everybody's going to Dubai.
I tell you, we're selling like hotcakes.
Howard, I'm telling you, I was just in Afghanistan to do stand-up for the troops, you know, and everyone talks about Dubai.
Yeah.
Like, you have got to go to Dubai.
It's amazing.
It's the nicest place in the world.
It's amazing. I'm doing
Can you get laid in Dubai?
Well,
yeah.
Actually, truthfully, for maybe all of the wrong reasons, you have some of the most beautiful women in the world there.
Oh, because of slavery or something?
No, because they just go there.
Yeah, what's the wrong reason?
They follow the money, Howard.
They do, right?
They're all looking for guys like you.
It's all rich dudes.
They're all rich guys, and a lot of women looking for rich guys.
And the other nice thing, it's Jew-free over there, isn't it? There's no
I'll
Jews.
tell you what, it's an amazing place. It really
Are
is.
Jews allowed in Dubai?
That's why it's an amazing place.
Mr. Trump, it's like an exclusive country.
But, you know, then you have, like in this country, and we've become a sad situation because of our president, the worst president in the history of the country. I mean...
Who you backing?
Well, I like the fact that McCain very strongly wants to keep taxes low. I mean, with this economy, you can't be raising taxes.
Can I tell you something? You're bringing up a good point. I've been thinking about this. Here's what I don't like about Obama. He is saying, you know, I'm disgusted with government. I pay 50%. 50% of the money I earn.
You're going up.
Right.
If he gets in, you're going way up.
This is what's bugging me. Now, I think government, if you ran your business like the United States government, you would be bankrupt. We are so in debt, trillions of dollars, and the only reason is because government does not know how to spend money. You see, they spend money on anything. It's not their money.
And
these politicians
just keep taking more.
And they keep taking more, and there's more deficit. And now a guy's going to get in office and tell me I'm not paying enough? Excuse me. I'm working half a year for the United States government, and you're telling me I'm not paying enough?
It's a problem.
It's a problem.
But you know the amazing thing? I watch all the business stuff. I like the business stuff I read. Nobody ever talks about OPEC. They say the speculators are driving up oil. The speculators are nothing. You're a speculator. We're all speculators, right? Nothing. OPEC, they have these guys sitting around a table. They raise the price of oil, and because we have a stupid president, they get away with it. I mean, we have a president that goes to Saudi Arabia and wraps his arms around these people and says, we love you, we love you, we love you. The next day, they announce they're not going to do anything for us.
They're raping us.
So, look, we need a new leader. We got to get this guy out of there fast.
Yeah, by the way, I heard Donald on another show. I think it was Greta Van Susteren. And he said exactly that. He said, the president just went over to Saudi Arabia. The price of gasoline keeps going up. And he's holding hands.
What would you say to the Saudi Arabians if you were President Trump?
Oh, we have fun. And
what would you do?
Let me just tell you. Those oil prices would drop like a rock.
Tell me about that.
You know that you have ships all over the world that are loaded up with oil. They don't know what to do with it. There's so much, and yet the price keeps going up.
Right.
It's a monopoly. Howard, if you have a store, and I have a store on Fifth Avenue, and if we get together to set prices, they put us in jail.
Right.
Now you have these people, like 12 people, 14 people. They sit around a table. They say, let's raise it. We have a stupid president heading the United States. He's not going to do anything. Let's raise it. Howard, there are so many things you could do. Number one, you got to let them know, hey, places like Saudi Arabia wouldn't be there if it weren't for us.
If we didn't protect them.
Right. And, it's really a very sad situation.
So why does the government approve ExxonMobil mergers in 3 seconds, and they can't figure out how to approve a satellite merger?
I often talk about that. ExxonMobil, these two monsters, the two biggest, they get together, they merge, it's okay, but you guys can't merge.
What is going on?
And your stock ain't doing so well, right? Okay?
Because they're raping these companies. And they're trying to bankrupt
You've got this great guy, Mel, wants to do a good job. You're doing a good job. You got to merge, okay? You got to merge.
That's it.
And yet ExxonMobil merges in 15 seconds. Now, you figure it.
The Chicago Tribune wrote a great editorial yesterday about this is ridiculous.
It's finally getting some attention?
Well, it's upsetting people. I mean, government
I watched
is corrupt.
Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer's a great guy. He was on The Apprentice, and he's just a great guy. And I don't know if you've ever heard his
We've
whole
had him on.
Yeah.
But he goes crazy every night about why they're not allowing this merger. So
it's upsetting.
It's ridiculous.
It's upsetting to me, not only because obviously I would do well if the companies merged, but it's upsetting to me that government would hold companies up for ransom and make it so political, and the lobbyists have their way.
And that some companies are favored over other companies.
Right. You're trying to do money.
Industries.
You're trying to make business.
Well, it's not my business, Howard, and personally I don't care. As long as you continue to be in the air, it doesn't make any difference to me whether they merge, although I would like to see Mel do well, so I like it from that. So I couldn't care less if they merge or not. But
so you're telling me there's lots of oil out there.
It's on ships and won't come in, huh?
It won't come in.
Lots of oil. Lots of ships loaded up with oil, and they don't know what to do with it.
So if you were President Trump, I'll go back to that now, how would you pressure the Saudis? Would you say, listen, we're going to let other countries invade you and we're not going to protect you anymore?
The problem with this country is a question like that. You have to reveal your hands. You don't talk about, when you go into a business, you don't talk about, this is what I do. Right. I had an idiot come into my office the other day. He says to me, Mr. Trump, I'm a great negotiator. I really negotiate well. I read all your books. I'm making a deal with this guy, right? He said, I'm really a great negotiator. I can really negotiate, too. Now, I've never met a good negotiator that tells you he's a good negotiator. You don't talk about it.
You would rather go in and say...
You just go in and you do your thing. You don't talk about it.
So you're saying elections are backwards. In other words, people shouldn't reveal what they're going to do.
They shouldn't be revealing what they're going to do. Right. I mean, I see things the other day where... The Pentagon, we found out, is thinking about attacking Iran, and we're going to fly planes here and there. Then we're going to land them here. We're going to fly them. We're going to bomb them at 4:30 in the afternoon, but we may make it at 4:45. This is crazy. What do you think the late, great Douglas MacArthur would have done if he heard about something
He would have vomited.
Okay, so, look, we have a country that's not the same as it used to be, Howard. It's not respected.
Have we gone downhill?
Totally downhill. It's not respected. Our leadership isn't respected. And, frankly, our country is just a different country than it was 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
You go to Europe, you look at the euro, it's strong. You look at our dollar, it's weak. It's really, as an example, yesterday, I closed on a house, $100 million.
$100 million? What house?
In Palm Beach.
No kidding.
A very nice Russian gentleman bought a house for $100 million. Now, Wouldn't it be nice if an American would give me $100 million instead of a Russian?
You can't get that anymore. It's all foreigners, isn't it?
You give the foreigners because the dollar's weak.
Yeah.
In a way, I don't mind a weak dollar because they keep giving me a lot of dollars. In a certain way, it's not so bad for me.
You're telling me in Palm Beach...
Doesn't sound very good, but, there's something nice about a weak dollar.
You're telling me you just sold a house in Palm Beach for $100 million.
A man, it's a very sad story. About 2 years ago, a man went bankrupt, and he had a house in Palm Beach. And the house in Palm Beach was a very good house. And I bought it in bankruptcy. I bought it out of a bankruptcy auction.
What'd you pay for it?
$41 million.
Okay.
And I fixed it up, meaning I painted it.
Right, I was going to say, how much did that cost? About $250?
About $3.
Yeah.
No, but
I painted it.
You did more than that. What did you put in? About $2 million in?
I put in a couple of dollars.
Okay.
And I sold it to a gentleman who's going to, I think, rip it down probably and build a bigger house,
Right.
Frankly. I don't know what he's going to do.
It's on the ocean?
It's right on the ocean. Beautiful. In fact, I should have come to you. You have plenty of money.
Not that kind of money. Wow. You spent about $25 million, though, on renovations on this thing, right?
No, I didn't.
Not that much?
No, I would say it's a little...
He didn't fix it up that much.
You're off by about $24,500.
Okay. So that was a very good deal for you.
Yeah, that was a good deal. I mean, it was a good deal, but it's, it's not my big deal, but it's like pretty sad when you think of it that most of the people that were negotiating, I mean, it's a great piece of property.
Right.
But most of the people negotiating were foreign.
Hey, never mind all that. Melania's still tight? I mean, how's she looking?
She's looking good.
I saw an interview that my fiancé did with her.
Right, true.
She looks sexier than ever.
She thinks your fiancé is great.
After the baby.
Do you think you're going to invite Melania and Trump to the wedding?
Absolutely. I said it last night. I said I'm going to invite Trump to my wedding.
Are they on the list?
They are on the list.
They don't have to do an essay?
Everybody wants me, no matter where it is, Howard. They all want Trump. Trump is hot.
Well, listen.
So they all want Trump. So I'm just curious as to whether or not he's inviting me to the wedding.
I'm going to invite
Then the big question is whether or not I'll go. I mean,
you don't have to go. In fact, believe me, don't go. It's too much pressure.
Well, the invite would be nice, because this way I could say at least I've been invited.
Yes.
And if I don't go, you're not going to mind.
And as a favor to you, Mike, the invite will say Donald Trump plus current wife, just in case something goes wrong. So you know
what I do a lot of times? I'll invite guys, like, a friend of mine will say, well, he's going to be in Europe closing a big deal. So I have something, so I'll invite him knowing he can't come because I don't want him to come. Right? So I always invite people that I know won't come because it's like having them. You get all the credit for it, but you don't have to suffer through their company.
You know what, Donald? You get
goodwill.
You get Howard back for the joke he made about you at your wedding. Remember?
He killed me.
Well, I was right.
There was no.
Your ex-wife Marla Maples was just in the National Enquirer. They said her body is one of the tightest bodies around.
Well, she's a great-looking girl.
She still looks good.
She's a gymnast or something.
She is a beautiful girl. No, but during the wedding, and Howard sat right next to O.J. Simpson, and in fact, he put me right on the cover of the, he and O.J. on the cover of the back cover of his book, which did very nicely.
Thank you.
But at the wedding, I was with Marla, and Marla was a really nice girl. I made a mistake, but she was great.
I've never seen Donald with a bad
and she's beautiful. But here's Howard. Wait, but here's Howard's statement. They interview of all the people. I have everybody in New York. It's the biggest, craziest thing that happened all year. They have to interview Howard.
Right.
So I go back, and Marla wants to make love, and I want to watch television to see what kind of coverage we get.
That's why you're successful.
So I knew the marriage was in trouble that first night. Because, when you do that, that's not a good sign.
Right.
Do you agree with that, Robin?
I agree. You should have been for the...
So she's in bed saying, darling, I love you, and I'm trying to find out, who's on. So the only guy they have, with all these people, big celebrities, everybody was there. You will say.
That's right.
I mean, even O.J. when he was hot.
Right.
Of course, today you could say he's hotter.
Yes.
Right. In a bad way.
The hottest.
He could be the hottest.
A pre-murder
O.J. is the biggest
In fact, I have to say, okay, so before I talk about O.J., because I do have to tell you about O.J. and The Apprentice.
Yes, NBC, I'm going to ask you about
NBC went totally crazy when I went to put O.J. in The Apprentice. Which
let me ask you something. Do you still talk to O.J.?
Howard said... There wasn't a wet eye in the house. Then he said, now Marla's watching this, and, she's a very romantic person. He goes, there wasn't a wet eye in the house. I thought that was, I cracked up. Then, and it was true. That was the sad part. There was nobody crying at my wedding. It was like, they're talking, this is great. What a great time.
People were networking. Yeah.
It was and then he had another comment. Do you remember your other comment?
Yes, I said the marriage would last 6 months.
6 months, and you were wrong. It lasted 4 years.
It did.
You were wrong.
I was wrong. But here's the thing.
What are you going to say about his wedding?
Well, Melania knows people very well, and she thinks you're marrying a spectacular woman. She really likes Beth, that. Probably, Howard might not invite me, but I think Beth wants Melania to be there.
Right. She does.
But they have a good relationship, and Melania thinks that this is going to be a very good marriage.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have
what
to
do
say
I
that.
know? I would say it probably won't work because they don't work.
Right.
Okay, they don't work. It's not because of Howard and her. It's because if you look statistically, most marriages don't work.
I'm hoping mine does.
I had a friend.
Yours is working, though.
Listen to this. I had a friend always said, Donald, my wife is great. I got it right. He's not that successful.
Right.
He goes, you got the big success, but boy, look at my marriage. It's great.
Right.
In the meantime, I find out the other day his wife is having an affair. Now, what do I do?
Wow.
Do I tell him?
No.
Yes.
Why would you tell him? The man's living that dream.
If my wife was having an affair
you want to know.
and you found out about it and you didn't tell me, I'd be mad at you.
Well, I think I'm probably going to tell him. I think I probably already have because he listens to your show. So he probably knows who I'm talking about.
Wow, Howard, I got to tell you.
What if my wife?
I'm not happy about it.
But what if my wife is having an affair with Donald Trump? Then if it's you, don't tell me.
She'd never go back to you if that happened.
I know. You're an excellent lover. I know that. Don't brag on my show.
I know. I'm not allowed to do that.
Talk about this for a second. With The Apprentice, you said that you were going to, try and get O.J.
It was the celebrity version.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, how are you still? You were friends with O.J.
Well, you sat next to him.
So how did you come in contact with O.J.?
I was friendly with O.J., and I played golf with O.J., and when I heard the story about O.J., because I've seen O.J. working out and running, and when I heard the story that he wasn't physically capable of beating this very nice young weightlifter,
right,
and a woman,
right,
because he was 55 years old. O.J. could be 100 years old and destroy any, virtually. I mean, O.J. was a physically strong guy.
Absolutely.
You didn't see any
And when he was
evidence.
in rage, when he was in rage. I mean, this guy knew he was in serious trouble. When he was in rage, forget it. You looked at his eyes and you'd say, hey, he used to carry 4 linebackers. O.J. had very skinny legs.
Right.
And it was almost like a medical miracle. They'd say, how come he can carry 4 linebackers from Pennsylvania on his back 9 yards,
It's
right?
almost impossible.
It was really,
He's like an ant. He's 8 times stronger than his weight.
So
Deacon Jones couldn't tackle him.
No, you couldn't bring him down.
Right.
So, then they say, oh, he was a little bit older. I mean, he wasn't
had arthritic knees. He couldn't get over the fence.
All right, so you were friendly.
If the glove doesn't fit, right?
You were friendly with O.J.
I was friendly, and I wanted to, but I must tell you, I really abandoned O.J.
Of course.
I was extremely disloyal.
Right.
When I realized he killed his wife,
so
I decided that I'll take a pass.
Why would you put him on The Apprentice?
Show. Well, in your business, there's a thing called ratings.
That's right. It would be big.
And, you can come up with a cure for cancer.
Right.
I found out a lot about your business because, hey, I'm the biggest star, right?
Right. You are.
I'm now the biggest
no
star.
bigger star than you.
I got the biggest. Melania says, you are the biggest star. You are bigger than Tom Cruise. You are bigger than anybody. That's why I like her.
Right.
Okay?
Nice.
Somebody else would say, you're nothing. So anyway.
Right.
So I know that if you come up with a cure for cancer,
right,
and if you put it on, and if it doesn't get ratings, they will not broadcast it.
They could care less about it. They
don't
care less.
They don't care.
The guy who invented the cure for polio, we don't even know his name anymore.
It doesn't matter.
That's right. Only
Jonas. A couple of us remember, but not too many.
Very few.
But anyway, so you come up with a cure for a disease, no good. Okay, now, I know this. If I put O.J. on,
you have the biggest season
forget
ever.
35 million people.
So did O.J. call you and say...
I don't want to go into it, but O.J. would have done it, and I love it.
Don't leave me hanging like that. What do you mean you don't want to go into it?
I can't go into the details.
Did you talk to O.J.?
I refuse to say.
Did you speak
I hadn't spoken to him in years.
Yeah.
I don't like people that kill their wives, okay?
Right.
Does that make sense?
I like
Does that make me a disloyal person?
I like that about you.
No, I think I'm...
It makes you honorable.
I like women.
A lot of people thought you liked guys who killed their wives.
I don't even like guys that beat up women. You get a lot of those guys.
Have you ever beaten a woman in a rage?
No, I'm not. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
You've never killed any of your ex-wives?
No, I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I mean, he could have...
Great lover, poor fighter.
People would have understood it if you wanted to kill an ex-wife.
No, I've had women that wanted to be... Robin, excuse me? I've had women that wanted to be beat up.
Oh.
Really?
I've had women that said...
Really?
And you know what I'd say? I'm sorry, darling, but that's not my thing.
If you could...
Smacking is not my thing.
If you could, would you put Osama bin Laden on The Apprentice? I'm being serious right now.
That's I can get him for you. OJ.
I can get Osama. To be honest.
We all want to know where he is.
Would you have him on The Apprentice? Osama bin Laden.
Well, I think it would be one way of getting him out of hiding.
So you would?
He'd never get the
man who blew up the
I think it would be a wonderful thing. You put him on, and then the guys come along and finally capture him. By the way, how is it that we can't capture a 6'6" Arab?
Right.
who's walking in the woods of probably Saudi Arabia, in my opinion.
Because
I happen to think he's in Saudi Arabia, but these are my
you said it earlier in this interview. You said, we are so hated around the world right now that this guy is actually beloved, and his people won't give him up.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the late, great Douglas MacArthur, the great general...
Go ahead.
He had the whole deal going, right? The hat, the pipe, the whole thing, and he was a genius.
Right.
Do you know, in the history of West Point, think of this, he was the greatest student to this day in the history of West Point.
Is that true?
He had the highest marks ever in the history of West Point.
Go ahead.
And that's why he never liked, Eisenhower, because Eisenhower was, he never felt he was an equal.
So he would have captured...
Now, do you think that the great Douglas MacArthur would have allowed Osama bin Laden to be free this long?
No, I don't. I believe...
Donald, he wouldn't have allowed a lot of things. He wouldn't have allowed turning away from Afghanistan to deal with Iraq and the whole thing. It would have been a totally different thing.
He would have gone into Saudi Arabia and gotten the families of the terrorists. He would have done a lot of different things.
Were you for the invasion of Iraq originally?
No.
You were not?
No.
You were always against it?
Well, I tell you what. You have to remember one thing. The answer is no, but I have to qualify it. We were lied to by the president. We were told that this is where it all started.
Right.
We were told that this
destruction.
guy had nuclear weapons. Right. He didn't have an M1 rifle.
He didn't have anything.
He had nothing.
He had a shovel, apparently, because he dug himself a hole in it.
He didn't have, but Robin, he had nothing.
Would you put President Bush on The Apprentice?
Yes, so I could fire him quickly.
Right. Would you put Hitler on The Apprentice?
Don't ask me these questions.
Tell me that one.
Let's get back to O.J.
Hitler, O.J.
Let's get back to O.J. It's less controversial.
He's almost putting Hitler on The Apprentice. He's talking to Heather Mills, right?
Well, I have, actually. Heather Mills wants to be on very badly.
She's almost Hitler now?
Heather Mills wants to be on. She's got tremendous dislike for her husband, her ex-husband.
Paul McCartney.
Even though he handed her $60 million. I was watching Larry King, and he was on and she was on. They were holding hands, and then she took off her leg and showed her leg. And, I'm saying, excuse me, he's a Beatle.
Did Paul McCartney get off easy in his...
No, he should have had a prenuptial agreement.
Of course, but he didn't. He
could have given one. He could have given $1 million. She would have been extremely happy with $1 million.
Right.
It's a lot of money, $1 million. You give somebody $1 million, you get divorced, here's $1 million. It's not so bad.
Why don't you get Peter Cook on The Apprentice, the guy with Christy Brinkley?
Not a bad idea.
Not bad, right?
Maybe I'll get Christy Brinkley on.
Maybe. I'd rather have Peter Cook.
I'd rather have both.
Get them both on.
Oh, my God.
How would O.J. do? Let's say O.J. had agreed to be on The Apprentice. Do you think you could have given him a shot to win?
Yeah, I think he could win. I think he'd kill most of the people on the
You think he'd kill the other contestants?
a friend of mine, a great guy, I won't tell you his name, but he's a big guy.
Yeah.
He had O.J. on a board of a charity.
Right.
And he, when this happened, and recently I spoke to him, I said, did you ever see any signs? He said, O.J. was a nice guy, but every once in a while, like, if he got into an argument or a disagreement with somebody on the board, the rage was unbelievable. The board was sitting there. They were petrified.
Wow.
There's a board of stiffs. There's a board of rich stiffs, okay? And O.J. would get angry, and everybody would just shake. They didn't know. And that was before he killed the wife. So, they had no idea.
The black guy's angry.
It must have been unbelievable. So, Heather Mills could be one of the potential next season people.
I can tell you, Joan Rivers announced your friend, right?
Right.
She's a friend of yours?
Yes.
She announced that she's on. We have, let me just tell you what happened. We did Celebrity. Apprentice became a tremendous success.
Right.
Then last season, we did Celebrity Apprentice, which frankly I like more, because you don't have to build up the characters. The characters have been there for 25 years, right?
Right.
So we did Celebrity Apprentice. It became a tremendous success, a ratings success. It only matters if it's a
right.
Meaning when I say successful, meaning it's good ratings.
Yes.
Like you have shows that are unsuccessful, no ratings. Right?
I had the guy on who won it.
Pierce
was great.
Yeah, good guy.
And I heard he was very nice about me.
He was terrific.
He calls me Mr. Trump.
He's
a great guy.
Yeah, good guy.
And by the way, I took a lot of heat because people didn't think he was a great guy. When I say he's a great guy, he's a very smart guy. He deserved to win.
Right. You were honest about it.
But think of it. He deserved to win. He's got his own show. Trace Atkins, nobody ever heard of him. He was a country singer. Trace Atkins, right?
Right.
Last year, he told me he couldn't get into the Country Music Awards. This year, he hosted them.
Right. Wow.
He's got the #1 record.
Right.
Do you think he should give me 20% of everything?
No.
Huh?
Yes.
I do.
I mean, yes.
How about you? You build people up, they make a fortune, then they forget you, right?
Quickly, absolutely.
I'm doing it right now.
That's it.
So everybody wants to be on The Apprentice. So now, the problem, we have over 100, and it's amazing how many celebrities there are, Howard. You think of celebrities, right? You think there's like 4.
Right.
There's like thousands of them.
And you have had sex with most of them.
Now, only the good-looking ones.
Did you ever have sex with Madonna?
No.
Never?
No, wouldn't be.
Is that a lie?
No, it wouldn't be. That
would be a great notch on your belt. Not that she's the hottest girl.
I don't disagree. I'm not knocking Madonna, but that wouldn't be for me. There would be zero attraction.
You do not feel attracted to Madonna.
I would not. I would not do good with her.
Because why? She's
because
too
I wouldn't be
aggressive?
attracted to her.
You don't think you could get it up for her?
I think I'd have a hard time.
Wow.
No, I don't find her attractive.
Not anymore. I agree. She's
I just think. I mean, she's just not for me.
Did she ever offer herself to you?
No.
Never.
No, she did. No.
I
really don't know Madonna, actually, but, I mean, that wouldn't be my thing.
Do women come up to you and ever offer themselves to you?
Yes.
They just say, listen, I want you.
What is the most outrageous offer you ever got?
In levels of beauty that you wouldn't believe.
Wow.
And they're really, I mean, some incredible, beautiful women. They'll walk up and they'll flip their top.
Ooh.
Wow.
And they'll flip their panties.
Oh.
Have you ever had sex with a fat woman in your life?
I've had sex with women that got fat.
Right, we know that. We understand that.
Many times.
He's never had... You know what? I got a feeling he's
Have you ever reduced yourself to a night where you had sex with a fat woman?
Well, actually, I'm attracted to women that are a little chunky.
A little chunky. I'm talking about, have you ever...
Well, what are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about a woman 30 pounds overweight.
Well, 30 pounds I could handle.
You could,
but
have
like
you? Never.
No, you know... I don't even think about sex anymore other than with my wife, Howard.
Is that true, though? I really want to know the truth.
Sure.
Are you a new man?
Are you happily
Is anybody
married?
No, I think, like, right now, I'm content sexually. Sure, I mean,
think
you see
are.
women you'd want to have sex with, you know, but I feel pretty content.
Good.
But
What
are
about
you
you?
content?
Absolutely. Can you imagine? Okay.
You have a little
Can you
twinkle in your eye,
imagine?
Donald.
Can you imagine if I answered that question like, no, I'm not? Can you believe it?
Yeah. Let me ask you this.
Front page tomorrow of every frickin' newspaper. I'm very content. Officially, I am extremely content.
Right.
If I could get Michael Vick on The Apprentice for you,
yeah,
would you want it?
I like that idea.
You like it?
You know, Michael Vick got a bad deal.
And you know what? You should...
Because you go to the South.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I go to the South because I have deals and... They have dog things. These dog things are all over the place.
Right.
But they're
They
not
put him in jail
legal.
for the rest of his life.
Right.
I mean, the middle of his career.
You feel...
No, they're not legal, but you know, they have them all over the place. The dog, what a fighting.
Yeah, but he's an
They have
NFL,
dog fighting, cock fighting. They have everything.
NFL star. He doesn't need to be involved.
Well,
it was a stupid thing for him to do.
It was stupid. It was very stupid, and for him to be involved in all that. I'm not a big fan of pit bulls. I've known too many people who were badly hurt by pit. I knew a girl who was beautiful, who was taking care of a dog who was a pit bull. The dog ripped her apart. So I'm not a big fan. You know, if these people come out, oh, the poor dog, the poor dog.
Right.
These are trained killers, these dogs.
Yes.
So I'm not, you know, when I hear two pit bulls are fighting,
You're okay
better
with
they
it.
fight themselves than us.
You know what, Donald? You obviously you got a hit show, and I don't want to speak out of line. I'm going to give you some advice.
Go ahead.
You have Michael Vick on, and the task he has is he has to open up, like, a kennel or a pet shop. And you have Hitler on, and he has to open up a diamond store on 47th Street.
Have you ever been with a woman that looked really hot with her clothes on? You get her naked, and then you're totally disgusted, like you just couldn't deal?
Yes.
That's happened to you?
Oh, yes.
So there are women who can disguise. What happens when they take their clothes off? What do you see? Saggy tits?
I've been
pancake tits.
No, but I've
tits.
I've been with women with extraordinarily bad breast jobs.
Right.
What
do you mean?
work was bad.
When everything looks very beautiful, but, you know, they had the wrong doctor and things like that.
So in other words,
actually, you know, it's not so much. Isn't it unbelievable? Women, one woman, beautiful, had big, beautiful, real boobs. Really beautiful.
Right.
And she wants them reduced. You got a breast reduction, Robin, right?
Reduction,
That should be against the law. Do you agree?
I think, to me, I think anybody is insane if a woman is, okay, Robin,
Right.
I hate to say
no doctor should be allowed.
And
You know how
also-
they go after these abortion doctors? Go after these
Well, I don't know if you're happy with the job, but I have never seen a good breast reduction.
Well,
There's
you
scarring.
have the wrong doctors, because I've seen that, too, and the scarring is a nightmare.
I saw a woman.
Robin?
They're hidden.
Hidden scars.
Really? Well, then you had a good doctor.
Yeah.
Because I saw a woman who was totally beautiful.
Right.
She was angry that so many men were calling her. How dare they call me? It's terrible. They're all looking at my breast. So she had a major breast reduction. The good news, nobody calls her anymore.
Right.
And the bad news, nobody even looks.
Right.
And not only that, it was a terrible job. I mean, she has scars up and down. I've never seen anything like it.
All right, let me ask you
I happen to think so many doctors. You know, I'm not a big fan of doctors.
No.
I've seen so many doctors destroy
bad.
people. No, I've seen them destroy
Tell
people.
me etiquette, though. Here you are, you're Donald Trump, you're famous. Beautiful woman comes up to you, wants to make love. You take her back to your room. She's now nude, and you see these defects. At that point, do you go ahead and bang her anyway to be a gentleman, or do you find a way out of it?
Now, you're talking pre-marriage.
Pre-marriage, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm actually talking post-marriage, but I know you can't. But go ahead. What do you do?
What about during marriage?
Okay, here's what I do. If I thought she was a really nice person,
yes,
I would do everything I can to, because I wouldn't want to insult her.
Uh-huh.
I really would.
You would try to bang.
But I'm not good for medical. In other words, if you, cut your finger and there's blood pouring out.
Yes.
You're gone.
I'm gone.
Right. Good idea, by the way.
I'll tell you what, I was at Mar-a-Lago, and we had this incredible ball, the Red Cross ball.
Right.
In Florida, in Palm Beach, Florida. And we had the Marines, and the Marines were there, and it was terrible because, all these rich people, they're only there. They're not there. They're there to support the Marines.
Right.
But they're really there to get their picture in the Palm Beach Post. The papers, okay? The shiny sheet.
Right.
So you have all these really rich people, and a man, about 80 years old, very wealthy man, a lot of people didn't like him, he fell off the stage.
Wow. And
the Marines were given the worst table at the whole place. They gave the worst table in the whole place to the Marines. And we're celebrating the Marines. There's like 10 Marines. And everybody else has the good table. They don't even know what the Marines are. They never heard of the Marines. Right. They couldn't care less.
They're too rich. They're living in the
they're giving their $100,000 a table, but they don't even know where the money's going. They couldn't care less, all right? So what happens is this guy falls off right on his face, hits his head, and I thought he died. And you know what I did? I said, oh, my God, that's disgusting, and I turned away. I couldn't, he was right in front of me. I turned away. I didn't want to touch him. The Marines, this is a great thing.
Somebody clean that up.
No, the Marines, he's bleeding all over the place. I felt terribly. Beautiful marble floor, didn't look so good. It changed color. It became very red. And you have this poor guy, 80 years old, laying on the floor, unconscious. And all of the rich people are turning away. Oh, my God, this is terrible. This is disgusting. And, they're turning away. Nobody wants to help the guy. His wife is screaming. She's sitting right next to him. She's screaming. What happens is these 10 Marines from the back of the room, they were so far back. It's a huge ballroom, Mar-a-Lago. You've been there.
I've seen it.
So from the back of the room, they come running forward. They grab them. They put the blood all over the place. It's all over their uniforms. They're taking it. They swipe. They ran them out. They created a stretcher. They call it a human stretcher. Where they put their arms out.
Yes.
Like 5 guys at each side. They ran them out. I never saw it. They ran like...
You would never do that.
I was saying, get that blood cleaned up. It's disgusting.
Right, you wouldn't shake hands with him.
In fact, I forgot to call the next half. I forgot to call to say, is he okay? He was okay.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing. So, when you're
afraid of catching a disease through the phone.
It's not even disease. I just don't like looking at blood.
Right. I know. It's terrible.
Like, when these people call me, like a beautiful girl. I see a beautiful girl. She says, oh, Mr. Trump, I want to be a nurse. I said, a nurse? You want to clean up in hospital? You want to be a nurse? I respect nurses.
Right.
But you want to be a nurse? Oh, I love it, Mr. Trump. It's just menus. That's why they have menus in restaurants. We're all different.
Would you ever have sex with a woman when she's menstruating? Because there's blood involved.
Oh, good question, yeah.
Well, I think we all have.
That depends on how high.
No, honestly, the man just said it.
That's right. She's really super hot.
Do you miss the action? Do I miss it?
Do you miss the action?
No.
Come on, be honest.
Extremely satisfied.
Are you really?
Extremely.
Are you?
Howard.
I want to know the truth. Now,
the problem with the show is I said, I'm supposed to come over here to talk about Affliction, which is like this big deal. I own a big piece of this company that's putting on fights. The MMA. Speaking about blood, they beat the crap out of each other.
Be honest with me. How many times a week are you having sex with your wife?
A lot.
Tell the truth.
No, a lot.
Since the baby?
Less.
A lot. But less. Is it true when a woman becomes a mother, suddenly...
Well, the French say... Yeah. When a woman becomes a mother, you can never blank her.
Right.
Because you can't disrespect the mother of your child.
Right. So,
you can only make love.
So do you agree with that?
The French also say Jerry Lewis is funny.
Are you always the initiator in the sex with your wife? Or do you always have to say, honey, now it's time?
I think, we just have a very good relationship overall.
And the sex in every way. The sex has not diminished since the baby?
No.
I don't believe it. I think
other than the baby takes a little time.
Right.
She takes care of the baby. Right. But, no, I would say it has not.
Have you even met the baby yet? Are you involved at all?
I'm supposed to meet him tomorrow.
Howard, to go back to what you asked Donald before, if he ever had sex with a fat woman, I don't think he ever had sex with a 300-pound woman, but I bet he's had 3 women in his bed that equal 300 pounds.
I bet you that's true. You've done all of that.
Have you done, have you had, is it...
No, I wouldn't say 300. I would say it could be about 375.
No, I meant
when you got your wife pregnant.
Double,
I figure 125 apiece as opposed to 100.
You've had 2 women at once?
Have I had in the past?
2 or 3 women at once?
Of course he has. What do you think?
Haven't we all?
No.
I mean, are we babies?
Up
what
to
do you
what
do,
month
Donald?
of pregnancy?
Wait a minute.
I just got to know one thing.
Although I don't like that. I mean, I like
Did you have
one nice, beautiful love affair.
Did you have sex with your wife?
I'm a romantic.
Did you have sex? Be honest now. Did you have sex with your wife while she was pregnant?
Yes.
You did? Up until what month?
Probably the first week into the pregnancy.
Seriously,
no.
You didn't have sex with her when she was showing.
I had no problem with it. Yeah.
Really?
No problem.
This is incredibly mature.
Well, this means you like somebody.
Yeah, well, you're in love.
Yes.
/love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you're in love?
By the way, excuse me. Am I still in your top 5 in the history of the Howard Stern show?
Absolutely. You're one of the best guests ever.
Well, no, not only the guests, but I mean my one episode. My one episode.
Oh, yes.
That you play back.
You're talking about there's a million of them, though.
Well, the AJ.
The AJ fight, and there's a couple other times.
They say that was in the all-time, in the history of Howard Stern, all-time top 5. That's pretty good.
Well, he had the best phone call ever. If you remember, we asked Donald to evaluate all these famous women, and he was insanely honest.
Yes.
And that was great. That was when we were on
Who's the greatest beauty now? Who is the greatest beauty now?
Well, I'll tell you, I just had the Miss Universe contest. Did you see it?
Yes.
Got very nice ratings.
Yes,
won the evening.
You did well.
Hey, Miss America, it's in the toilet.
Right.
Miss Universe and Miss USA are doing well.
You seem to have the golden
You know
touch.
why? Because I pick good-looking girls. Okay?
Right. Yeah, they're hot.
Somebody said, how did you do it? I said, it's about picking good-looking girls.
Right,
you know?
not these matronly women.
Some of the guys like, oh, beauty pageant. Isn't that a little old-fashioned? I said, since when do beautiful women get old-fashioned? But, you know, a lot of people like Miss USA, I mean...
Well, you were smart. Miss America's like, oh, I don't know if we should put the girls in bikinis.
Absolutely.
Put them in fucking bikinis.
Somebody said to me, how did you make it so successful? I said, number 1, I got the best-looking girls in the world. Right. Number 2, they wear 6-inch heels. And number 3, they wear the tiniest suits you're allowed on television.
Right.
Whereas Miss America, they had a protest. They shouldn't wear high heels. Right. So they wear flats. Did you ever see a girl's legs in flats? They're not very good.
Horrible.
I mean, unless they're
like a
great, it's no good. And then they had to wear big, fat bathing suits. So anyway, so we got very... Okay, so the girls on the show, did you see it at all? It was
I only saw
the best-looking group of women that I've ever seen on a beauty pageant.
So they were the hottest girls you'd
And
see.
the girl who won was Miss Venezuela.
Wow.
Doesn't speak a word of English.
You like that?
And I would say that she can't even say hello.
Right. Are you mad your wife even has gotten so good with English? I mean, you like...
Well, she does speak. I mean, she's very smart. My wife is really smart. I mean, she can look at a car or a computer. She can do any... I mean, she can fix the thing before. She opens a computer with no instructions, turns it on, fixes it, starts it. I said, don't you have to read the book? She says, no, look, all you do...
Wow.
And she's very smart.
That's good.
But I'll tell you what. The girl that won from Venezuela...
Yes.
May be at the top. The girl who came in second from Colombia... Speaks not a word of English, Robin, but many men would leave their wives, even though they can't speak Spanish.
They could never make
Who is the hottest female celebrity right now?
I'll tell you
that will know the name
let me just tell you, Jennifer Hawkins. Did you ever hear? Jennifer Hawkins was Miss Universe 3 years ago.
Okay.
She's now the biggest star in Australia.
Wow.
She was a judge at the contest. The contest of all places was in Vietnam, which was very nice.
Right.
You know,
we're now going to Vietnam.
I got a case of the shakes.
I was surprised.
Well, it was in Vietnam. Vietnam's a hot country.
Yeah.
But, you know, when I was going to high school, when I was going to college, Vietnam was like the big deal. It's like, you know, you have to leave college and go fight.
And we would never go there.
When you travel
excuse me. Now I'm going to Vietnam for a beauty pageant.
When you travel to these places, even Dubai and all that, don't you ever say to yourself, what am I doing? I'm a rich guy. I got a great life. Why am I going to Vietnam? Bad things can happen.
Well, I didn't go to Vietnam.
Okay.
I actually stayed back
home.
It was a long trip. I was going to go. Then my pilot said, sir, it's 22 hours.
And
I said, what? Excuse me?
And you go to Dubai?
I go to Dubai, yeah.
And you travel on plane? Like, aren't you afraid of all that? Don't you just want to stay alive?
No, I understand life. And life is fragile. And it's just what it is. You got to do what you have to do.
Not afraid of death?
No. And I have a good time with my life. You know, I mean, I have a good time. I could lock myself into a nice building.
Right.
Pick my least conspicuous building. Okay, I'll take my least conspicuous. Go to my worst location, least conspicuous, you know.
Right.
And just lock myself in, take a nice apartment.
You won't do that.
But it's not my thing.
You like the action.
I like action, Howard.
All right, speaking of action.
Do you know who lives in a Trump building?
Who?
Fred Norris.
Yep. Everybody.
You're kidding me.
So does
Fred
Mel.
Does?
So does Mel.
Yeah, that's true.
Mel Karmazin lives in one of the great, I won't tell you which one because he'll be inundated by as many fans, but
groupies.
Mel, not only does he live in a Trump building, but he lived in a Trump building before he moved up.
He did.
Right.
He stepped up in class. He went from one good one to one great one.
That is very true.
Everyone lives in my building.
But I didn't know Fred Norris had a Trump building.
Certainly did.
Wow.
It's an honor to have Fred.
Great place to live.
Did you ever try to evict Fred?
No, he's very, very current.
You know who doesn't live in a Trump building?
Who?
Benji.
That's true.
And that's probably good.
He lives in the alley beside a Trump building.
Oh, he does. All right. Now, listen. Donald Trump isn't here for his health.
All right. What's he here for?
And by the way, Ralph wants to agree with Donald Trump real quick that Miss Venezuela is the hottest chick. Go ahead. You can verify.
Oh, my God. I fucking watched that show the other night. The hottest chicks you've ever seen. Me and J.D. were watching, and we both picked 3 chicks. I picked Miss Kosovo, Miss Russia, and Venezuela. And I won.
That's right.
And you're right. And Miss Colombia was unbelievable.
How hot was Kosovo?
Kosovo was beyond belief. Actually, a couple of our male judges have never returned to the country.
As a matter of fact, Ralph told me the way he watches the
Miss
Universe contest, they pick 3 girls.
You pick a horse.
You get a guy. Yeah, you pick a horse, and you pick one, and you bet on it.
Right.
And he won with Miss Venezuela.
Actually, it's become a big betting deal. You know, this is what I need, okay? But it's become now a big betting deal.
But that's good.
But the Miss Universe contest now has become a monster. And, you know, you saw the other day, and they just did the ratings thing, and it won the evening in the ratings. It does great. And so I got a good property.
Let's talk about your next
Howard, I bought a property for peanuts. I made it hot.
You did.
Is that good?
You did well. This is your whole thing.
Okay, now let's talk about affliction.
Okay, you can now explain what affliction is and why you got involved.
Well, MMA, mixed martial arts. And I always like it. I
love it.
You know, I do more boxing than anybody probably. I have Mike Tyson fought for me, I think, 16 times.
Right.
More than anybody else.
Big money maker.
Mike Tyson was a great money maker.
Boxing
anytime you announce boxing's become cold, but anytime you announce the Mike Tyson fight, sold out in 3 seconds.
Right.
Okay. And boxing today is not the same thing. It's fine.
There's no superstars.
I think boxing, all of a sudden you have some hot guy come up, it'll be fun. Boxing's going to always be fun. But the hot thing now is MMA. And we have a company, we formed a company with a very, very substantial group of guys. And it's also with Affliction, which is a clothing company, which is a phenomenal company, which is hot as a pistol.
And this is mixed martial arts.
This is mixed martial arts. And we have a fight on Saturday night, and it's going to be on pay-per-view, Saturday night at the Honda Center, which is sold out, which is...
Why is this such a big fight? Who is fighting?
Well, we have Fedor, the Russian, who has never been defeated. He is, they say, the toughest guy in the world.
What's his thing? Karate, jiu-jitsu?
Everything.
What does he do? Everything. He strangles people?
His thing is inflicting death on people. He's just never lost.
He's insane.
How big a guy is
He's abnormally strong.
Yeah.
How tall?
He's not that big either. He weighs about 225 pounds. He's fighting a guy who's a great champion who weighs 100 pounds more, and he's like 6 inches, 7 inches taller.
Wow.
And they're not giving the other guy a great chance. They give him a chance, but not a great chance.
Right.
And I said, how could this guy, who I met, because I'm 6'3" and I'm probably taller than Fedor.
Can you fight?
Which in theory would mean I should be able to take him.
Have you ever fought?
Well,
I'm
never
talking about, have you been a street
big fighter.
Are you any good at it?
I used to fight a lot in high school. Actually.
Yeah?
People probably think you grew up, fairly wealthy.
No, I used to fight a lot.
This kind of thing.
I actually used to fight a lot. I mean, I almost got thrown out of school a couple of times for fighting. So, I was a fighter.
You got your ass kicked or you kicked some ass?
I was good. I was good.
Right.
But I really said, in fact, I looked at this guy, and there was a group of beautiful women standing there. There always are. They have a lot of beautiful women. For some reason, it's like people try and tempt me.
Right.
But, a thing like that isn't a possibility, right?
No, you're very much in love.
For you, too.
Yeah.
That's because I'm in love. So, they have these beautiful women.
Is it possible for you to really be in love?
And I'm looking, wait. And I'm looking at this Russian Fedor.
Right.
With a face like you don't want to touch.
Right.
With ears like I've never seen before.
Like an animal.
Muscles on his shoulders like I've never seen muscles. His neck is like, I think it's 28 inches. And I said to the girls, let me ask you a question. If I worked out for a little while, do you think I could take this guy? They go, yes, Mr. Trump, you think so?
There it is. Money speaks. So, go back to this for 1 second. Do you really think you're capable of loving another human being? I mean, seriously.
Really loving?
Really loving.
Sure, absolutely.
You're sure?
Oh, absolutely.
What is love?
Are you talking about children also?
No, forget children. I know you're not capable of that. Do you really love? When you say you're in love, what does that mean to you? What does it mean to love your wife?
Well, no, I have a very deep love for my wife. I do.
What does that mean?
It means friendship.
Right.
It means respect. It means you really like somebody. It means you like being around somebody. It means you like protecting that person.
If she died tomorrow, God forbid.
I'd never go out with another woman.
No, you would, but...
No, I wouldn't. I might not.
Might.
I might.
How long would you be?
You know what I hate?
Right.
When I see a woman and a man married, and a woman's married to a rich guy, right?
Yes.
And then the guy kicks the bucket.
Right.
He's gone.
Right.
And she's dating the following week, right?
It drives you crazy.
And now she's living in the mansion, the beautiful mansion in Palm Beach and the whole thing.
Do you worry that Melania will do that? If you suddenly had a heart attack or something...
I always say, as I go into one of my many houses, I say, if any guy ever lives in this house, I'm going to be looking up at you, and I'm going to be cursing you.
Looking up at you.
If Melania got fat, I'm talking about 60 pounds heavier, do you think you can really love her?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You do?
Oh, sure, no problem.
A lot of your ego...
No problem. Look at Robin. Look how skinny Robin...
Wait a second. A lot of your ego...
You look great.
A lot of your ego is you want to be seen in public with a beautiful woman.
You think he's that
shallow? Of course. He's just like me.
I don't need to be with a beautiful woman.
I mean, stop.
Well, we've never seen you with
So if Beth gained 100 pounds, you wouldn't be with her? You drop her?
What? 100 pounds? Oh, my God. I'm telling you, Melania gained 70 pounds and has facial hair now.
Oh, forget it.
You're not staying with her.
No, I'd be extremely loyal.
You'd be turned off.
Physical doesn't mean anything to me.
I have an idea for a show I want to pitch you.
Go ahead.
Put you on pay-per-view. Celebrity, multi-millionaire, billionaire,
right.
Bowling. You versus Warren Buffett.
That sounds good.
Sounds good, right?
Or golf or something. How about golf?
No, bowling is better. I see you in a bowling alley with Warren Buffett. I'd watch that. I don't know.
Millionaire bowling.
We
got a good deal on a bowling alley, that's why.
Let's review. We've got The Big Affliction.
Coming up Saturday.
That sounds like a success. I love to watch guys beat the hell out of each other, and this is what we're talking about. We're talking about guys really...
Well, we have the best fighters. We have the best fighters in the world, right. And not only Fedor, but we have a whole list of fights that are phenomenal fights that everybody in that world really knows, and they know all the fighters.
And you don't have any moral issue like where you go, hey, maybe I shouldn't pay guys to fight. You're okay with it. They want to fight.
I've been doing it all my life.
You like it.
Well, I've been doing it all my life. I love the fights. I mean, I love it. I love boxing, too. But boxing somehow has lost an edge. And... I don't know, something's wrong. Sometimes you'll see a match which is so mismatched, and then the other guy wins. Right. The one who lost wins, and you get tired of it. I've watched too many fights
This is the real deal.
Well, this way, it's sort of like somebody dies. I've never seen anything like that.
We got a clear
winner. And it's terrible.
Here.
It's the Gladiator.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like, how are the judges voting, okay? It's like, somebody just succumbs, right?
Right. Irish John, go ahead quick for Mr. Trump, quickly.
Hey, Mr. Trump. During Howard's interview with Piers Morgan, he spoke of how distractingly hot your daughter was. If you had known that during the competition, would you have fired him on the spot?
Piers Morgan said at times he could not concentrate during The Apprentice because your daughter is so frigging hot.
Well,
and she is hot.
Yeah, I mean, look, she is. She's a beautiful person. She's got every guy calling. I have like a gatekeeper.
She's single again, right?
She is, but she's actually now, she's with a young man who's a great guy.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but she has actually got a boyfriend who's a great guy.
Does it still drive you crazy when some guy's tagging your daughter? I mean, you got to excuse me.
It's something I can't even think about.
You don't even think about it?
I can't think about it. I can't imagine.
Do you do background checks on these guys?
No.
Tell the truth.
Not in this case. I mean, she's got a very nice guy, so we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. You use her in all the ads, too. She looks stunning.
She looks beautiful.
She has really become a big star. And, even really before The Apprentice, she was doing well. But then I put her on The Apprentice, and she became amazing. And
do you love her more than your son?
No.
Because she is more famous?
No. I have all great kids.
No, I'm not talking about the little one.
I have 5 children.
The little one I don't count yet.
Not the littlest one.
About the older son.
Older sons.
No, they're great.
I
have Eric and Don.
Rank the kids in terms of your...
favoritism.
All the same.
In the world.
Like you two have. And they're all very different. I mean, they're very different. But
you don't love any of them? If I put, let's say, your daughter and your 2 sons in a boat, we have to throw 2 of the kids overboard. Who do you save? You got to say, listen, you might as well save one of them.
Every one of them's going to die if you don't save one.
Who do you throw over?
Well, it's not even a question I want to answer. Because
I think you saved your daughter.
I really do.
Your daughter's more famous.
No, she is very famous.
So what did you save your daughter?
She's on the cover of every magazine. Yeah. She's doing great.
So wouldn't it be more worthwhile to save her?
I just couldn't answer a question like that. I mean, that's a question you can't even answer.
I think they're all great kids.
How do you feel being a grandfather?
Not good.
He's not. You don't let them call you grandfather.
No, I don't. And I don't consider myself a grandfather. I don't even want to hear the term.
Does the kid call you Donald? What does the kid call you? Seriously.
My boy?
Grandpa. Yeah, not
no,
grandpa.
Your grandson.
My boy?
Your grandson.
Your grandson.
Oh, it's a granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
Oh, granddaughter.
It doesn't call me anything. I don't get to see her very much.
The kid doesn't have his number.
No, I expect to see the child over the next few months. I'll let you know.
Would you be willing to do a show where I put you in a boat with your children and we sink it and then you have to save one of their lives?
I'll pass on that. Let me pass on that. Let me pass on that show.
Seriously, I have a friend who became a grandfather. He does not see himself in that role. He doesn't want to be called grandpa.
It's true.
And he has a nickname for himself. You know, they call. Wouldn't it be wise for your grandchild to call you Donald or D or something where it isn't grandpa?
Anything but grandpa.
So what are you going to do? What's the name?
I'll train the kid properly. Well, you know.
Why not an apprentice with all of your children? And we get to pick the favorite child.
Well,
what do you think
of that?
Come on, let's get crazy with this.
But actually, Don has done very well in The Apprentice also.
That's right.
My son Don has done very well. But, you know, it's a little tougher, I think, for a guy as opposed to a woman. You know.
How about all your ex-wives in The Apprentice? Who would win?
He was at Ivana's.
See, that one I could pick. Right.
He was at Ivana's last wedding. You two were sort of friendly, right?
It was very nice. She got married at Mar-a-Lago.
I met her new husband.
Yeah, nice guy.
Seems like a nice guy.
He came to me. They came to me and they said, would it be possible for us to use Mar-a-Lago? I said, would you pay me $2 million of my money?
Yeah.
And they said, oh, how about $1 million? I said, how about $1 million? No, I'm okay. They got married at Mar-a-Lago. It was a very nice wedding. And
do you feel he loves her, the new husband?
I haven't asked him.
What do you think is going on there?
I don't know. I mean, he must love her.
He's a much younger guy.
Much younger.
He doesn't have the assets she has. Do you feel he married her for her money?
No.
What?
I think he married her because he's desperately in love. You ever hear the song, Desperately and Hopelessly in Love? You ever hear that song from years ago, remember?
That's right, I remember
Desperately and Hopelessly in Love. Now, that's pretty sad, when you're desperately and hopelessly. Well, I think he's desperately and hopelessly in love.
I am very excited about Affliction Band. Because I love this mixed martial arts. I do.
Good.
Everyone who knows
You're going to watch on Saturday night?
I think because I'm so weak and I can't fight that I love to watch other men beat the crap out of each other. It's a fun thing for me to watch. I like it.
Good.
I love it. So let's remind people, this is Fedor versus Sylvia.
Correct.
And
these are seriously tough people.
Saturday night live on pay-per-view.
Correct.
And for more information, you can go to afflictionclothing.com.
Correct.
And if we review today's show, you are upset about the current crisis in this country?
Correct.
Yeah, dislike the president.
You dislike the president?
Not dislike, I disrespect. And I think he's doing a terrible job.
Right, and you're ready to fire him, to use the words of The Apprentice.
Well, he's hopefully going to be fired by his own accord pretty soon. Right. You know, it's amazing. He lied to this country about really important things, like the most important things, right? Got us into a war that we shouldn't be in. We should be in a war. I'm the worst hawk of all. Right. I am not like a dove. I am the worst. But we went to the wrong place, okay? We didn't go to the right place.
We were fine in Afghanistan.
In fact, you know, Saddam Hussein, like him or not like him, he used to kill the terrorists. Now that area is a breeding ground for terrorists.
He was more afraid of the terrorists than we are.
He used to kill terrorists. If they came into the country, he would kill them.
That's right.
So
in a way, he's the only one who could even run that country, isn't it?
So it's, you know, it's a very, very sad situation.
The good thing about Hussein was he was more like a mafia don. He wasn't a religious freak, you know.
Right, he was not.
That's more American. We could deal with that.
And I'll tell you what. Like this guy, hate this guy, when that guy, the character with the cell phone, took the picture of him before he got hung, there aren't a lot of people that would handle it the way he did.
That's true.
Where he's cursing at everybody, saying, you know, this and that. He's not out there begging, saying, oh, please don't do this, please don't do it. He's out there as, you know, say what you want. Right. He was one tough cookie.
Absolutely. He went down in a manly way.
The best thing that ever happened to him, that cell phone, because it showed he had guts.
That's right.
And you know, Howard, I came up with a nickname that Donald's granddaughter could call him.
What is that?
An acronym, REVA.
Which is?
reason I'm very affluent.
I like that. You have a big day ahead of you, obviously. Yes. You have to go promote this show that you're going to be doing, right?
Well, that's not. I mean, this is the only one I'm doing. I'm not doing any more of that. I'm actually having a big closing today.
What is that on?
I'm buying something that's.
What are you buying today?
I'm buying a big building someplace.
In Manhattan?
Yeah, but I can't talk about it because I haven't signed the contract.
Is this a great time to buy a building in Manhattan because things...
Well, it's a great time to buy real estate. This is a great time to buy real estate. There are deals. I used to, I'd make speeches, and I have thousands and thousands of people show up to my speeches. Right. And for years I'd say, don't buy, don't buy, don't buy.
Now's the time?
And now I'd say, buy, buy, buy. This is the time to buy.
And you're going to buy.
Everyone says, but you can't get financing because the banks are all busted. The banks are all out of business.
Mess, yeah.
They're going down the tube. I say, yeah, but the financing is already there. The bank's already put up the money. It's a foreclosed building. It's a mess. You take back the you take back paper.
Are you putting up any of your own money?
Yeah, I put up my money. I put up money, and you can make good deals today. This is a great time to buy real estate.
You're going to buy the entire building?
Yeah, that's what I do.
On your own?
Yeah, that's what I do for a living.
You're not going to do it with a group of people?
I actually do that for a living.
No, I know that, but you're not going to do that with a group of people?
Well, sometimes I have partnerships, and sometimes I don't. But, usually I like to just buy it myself.
And then you'll rent out the spaces?
Whatever. I rent it, I redevelop it, I sell it.
You might condo it and sell it.
I'm buying a new club in New Jersey. I'm doing something in New Jersey that's going to be amazing. I have this great club that I'm buying that I'm going to make very, very successful.
What is going to go on?
I already have. I bought John DeLorean's estate years ago, and I turned it into Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey, and made that a tremendous success.
Boy,
what were you doing over in
I have a big
Scotland? Or?
I have a big thing going in Scotland. I have thousands of acres in Scotland.
What are you worth today? Today, what are you worth?
I mean, a lot of money.
$7 billion?
Yeah, maybe.
$7 billion?
Maybe more than that.
He says if you can count it, you're not worth it.
Would you ever be one of those guys?
Depends,
you read about these guys who at some point say, look, I'm old enough, I'm going to give away $5 billion of my money and I'll be fine with $2.
Warren Buffett, right?
Yeah, you would never do that.
Yeah, well, I think I do that, but I'll do that upon death as opposed to, when I'm living.
Because you want all the chips. Kids set, or are you not giving them any?
Well, I have great kids, and they do a good job for me, and they work in the business. They're really doing it.
You got to take care of your own.
Do you want to be the richest guy in the world?
No, because, I just want to do what I'm doing. I don't do it for money. I do it because I really love doing it. And I make money because I do it well. I mean, if I do a building, if I do it...
And you find out he's worth $10 billion, do you go, man, I'm not successful?
Because, first of all, he's a great friend of mine.
Right.
He's a member of the Mar-a-Lago Club, which I like. He's a member of all my clubs.
Right.
And he's a great guy. No, I don't feel that way.
But you say, gee, I wish I was worth more than him.
Yeah, but, there's the Bill Gates. There's always somebody else out there.
There's always somebody.
Yeah.
That's a lot of billions to get to
recently, they said Bill Gates is now number 2.
Yeah.
There's always somebody, so you can't let that get you.
You don't care about that. All right.
Doesn't matter.
All right.
Hey, I just want to know what kind of servants you have. Like, do you get up in the morning?
Black.
Do you wake... Oh, shut up. Do you have a butler who wakes you up and serves you breakfast and lays out your clothes?
I get up very early.
Who bathes you? Who dresses you?
I get up very early. I read the papers in the morning.
3 papers?
Well, I read... I think the Post does a very good job. You read the Post. The Times, the Wall Street Journal.
Right.
I see the news. I see
you get up and pee.
I get a lot of papers. I tell you what, that has got to be the most competitive.
Wait, when you get up, you have to pee immediately, right? Like the rest of us, I assume. Unless you're so wealthy, you don't even have to pee.
But who's waking you up? Is the butler getting up at that time?
No, I get up myself. I really don't have anybody. I have like an alarm clock. I get up at 4:30.
Do you have a urinal that you pee into, or do you have a toilet?
A urinal.
In the house?
You have a toilet. Do you sit down on the toilet when you pee, or do you stand up?
I don't even think about it.
No, you know what you do. What do you do?
I would say mostly in the standing position.
Does Melania ever wake you up with a blowjob?
Oh.
Because you're a billionaire. If you're not getting that.
Nobody should.
So she doesn't, does she?
No, she wouldn't do a thing like that.
Let me introduce you.
She would wake you up with oral.
She wouldn't. By the way,
like
speaking of Miss Universe, do you remember when
you sleep on your back?
Just to get off the subject.
Melania wake you up with her mouth on your penis?
Do you remember when I sent one of the most beautiful women in the world, Miss Russia, about 4 or 5 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Why are you changing the subject?
That ruined her. That destroyed her.
No,
she quit Miss Universe after doing your show. She became Miss Universe. And he started asking her questions like this?
Yeah.
She quit.
No, but wait a second.
But actually, I fired her.
Mr. Trump.
I said, Oksana, you're fired.
Mr.
But
Trump.
she became impossible after this show.
Would that annoy you if a woman woke you up that way? Like, in other words, if you were laying on your back and all of a sudden you felt something, you would like that. Is that a fantasy of yours?
No, but it's something that
you would like.
Wouldn't particularly bother me.
So she should wake you up that way.
Well, who says she doesn't?
You're saying she does.
No, I mean, you know, we have a very, very good time together.
I bet you all your billionaire buddies are jealous when she's parading around in a bathing suit and there with some old hag.
Well, some of them don't like me for that.
That's right. They get jealous. All right.
Let me suggest something to Mr. Trump. The next time you can put $50 in cash together when you're in Vegas, you can get something called the hooker alarm clock.
Oh, my God.
And that's what that is.
Artie loves
They blow you with away. And he's buying all these buildings. I have another suggestion.
Yeah?
How long before we see, and I think this has a great ring to it, the Trumpire State Building?
That would be nice.
You know, I've run out of names.
That would be nice.
Because I have towers, I have castles, I have everything. I've run out of names, so that's a very fine name.
I like that. You can have that. Artie's giving that.
So, Howard, you have to do me a favor. You have to watch on Saturday night.
Yes,
you
Saturday
have to watch
Night Affliction band featuring Fedor versus Sylvia.
Right.
It's a big fight because Fedor's never been defeated.
Never been defeated, ever.
This Saturday night, live on pay-per-view. That should be fun. For more information, go to afflictionclothing.com.
Correct.
And let me tell you something. It should be good. Have you found yourself in a social situation with Rosie O'Donnell yet? Have you run into each other?
No, I really haven't. I mean, that
Have
became...
you calmed down about that?
I was never crazy about it, but, you know, she attacked me and I attacked her back, and it became this crazy
Well,
deal.
you launched some missiles, man.
You were like a
You know, it's funny, though. I go on the Today Show, and Meredith is very nice.
Yes.
And her first question, I'm talking about The Apprentice going on. You know, The Apprentice is going on in, right after the Super Bowl.
Right.
So she starts off, Donald, what about Rosie O'Donnell? I say, what about it? What's this? Then she goes, but do you hate her, and did you call her fat? I said, no. I called her a degenerate. I didn't use the word fat because it's politically incorrect. But I did call her a total degenerate, and I did call her a pig. I shouldn't have called her that.
That's a little rough.
And then she asked me a third question about Rosie. Then she said, could I ask you a question, Donald? Why do you always talk about Rosie? I said, because you asked me the question.
All right,
Howard, wait a minute. Now, we've talked a lot about his lovely daughter, and I must say that, and this is no bullshit, I think she really is one of the most uniquely beautiful women. And I was just on a plane, and I had a magazine, and she's fascinating looking.
Right.
Now, all right, Donald, you know, you've met me before. I
think he's asking permission. This is very gentlemanly.
I roasted you once. I know you from in here. I think we're friends.
He doesn't even know your name.
I make
Go ahead,
I make a good living. I do. I'm all right.
I would say he fits the bill beautifully.
Say I drop a few pounds and maybe I lose the Jersey accent. I wasp it up a little.
You would never allow him to have sex with your daughter. Tell him.
Well, he's a very handsome guy, actually.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Artie's a very good-looking guy. I think that your name is Artie, right?
Yeah.
You got it right. I'm impressed.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, listen.
But is she the kind of girl who would date like she got all levels? Like
I think she'd love to date you, honestly.
Would she date a guy?
What he's saying is that magazine is as close as you'll get.
He's being sarcastic.
Right. That's it.
Well, look, she's very beautiful.
She is beautiful.
Right, well, let's hope you do hook up with her, because that would be great for the show.
And then Donald would secretly have me killed.
And you'll have Donald hanging from the Trumpire State Building. All right, listen, everyone, Affliction band featuring Fedor versus Sylvia. Check it out this Saturday night live on pay-per-view. If you're a fan of mixed martial arts, I think you're going to like this one. If you need any more information, you go to afflictionclothing.com. Donald Trump, what can I say? You're still a home run. You're always the guy who comes in here, mixes it up, and I like it. And it's great seeing you. And we love having you on the show.
Great seeing you.
Great guest. And we'll be back right after these words.
Who this?
I just got a letter from DHS. They have cut off my food stamps, cash assistance, disability for me, all 6 of my kids, and my Section 8. What do they expect me to do?
Shut the fuck up! Hey! Not nice.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
You need to leave?
No, bitch. Okay.
Oh, he's out. Yeah, he's out.
Gorda, tu reputa y putísima perra, bomba, hueca, estúpida, madre, hijo de tu puta madre. Pinches pelos de elote y malparido, hijo, vas y chingas a tu puta madre de reversa y de maceta a la verga, pendejo.
Milk Crate Marauder is the shit.
Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.